in business. I hate when that happens. Come on, YouTube. Don't be like that. There we go. Right? Add it to the playlist. And save it. Seems a little weird that I agree with you. We probably could have played a Star Wars game had we had enough time to prepare, but
well, look who's first. Slanderous of all.
Slanderous is on. That is a surprise. But a surprise to be sure. But a welcome one.
We'll be watching your career with great interest.
We're going to be quoting Star Wars all night. Just go ahead and brace for that, folks.
Ah, yes, Revenge of the Fifth.
Ah, we should have called it that.
Yeah, that's an obvious one.
Everyone's coming up with much better names than we do.
Malvin's like, I see the title.
I see the title. Hey, guys. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and get this started. I haven't even added the new orders for today. I can't even do ally order until I get this internet thing fixed, so forget that.
Unless you want me to hop on, but I'm moderating.
Nah, you're moderating tonight. You're good. You're good. Okay, so we're going to do Dominant Executioner, Slayer. Well, actually, let's take off Dominant for now. Let's do Adaptable Warrior, Slayer, and let's do Strong Slayer. That'll be fine. Because the first thing we're going to do is go into Assassini Templari. Assassini I Templari, if you're going to say it in Italian.
There's probably some Italian guy in chat just going, that's
not I am sure I've pissed off my Italian community, like, son of a... And they're going to go, like with the finger thing. If y'all could see us right now,
you know, like when they go, que passo.
Que passo. God, yep. And this video is now hated in Italy. It is a war crime in Italy. We pissed off those spaghetti noodles.
Switzerland's cool with it, though.
Switzerland's just fine with it. Norway is okay.
There's Norway.
And Spain?
They just sat there.
They just sat
there. They're like, listen, we had our time under the sun. Last time we tried something, it didn't go so well.
The Death Star is aiming down at us right now, ready to take us out. And we tied it back into Star Wars. We came full circle. Welcome, guys.
Oh, Hannah's, by the way, says tomorrow will be Revenge of the Sixth.
Hey, there you go. There you go. Because that's the thing. It's May the 4th, so the 4th Star Wars movie. The 4th on the 5th is the 5th Star Wars movie, The Empire Strikes Back. Mm-hmm. And then Revenge of the Sith, the 6th Star Wars movie. Then once we get into 7, 8, and 9, it all goes downhill from there.
By the way, Raven, Lark, you sound lower than usual. It's just sometimes that's how I think allergies might be affecting it too.
Yeah, allergies are messing with both of our voices, so.
Swing low.
Sweet chariot, coming forth to carry me home. Swing low, don't chop the ball, try to get it in the hole.
And now we have the evangelical community who's mad at us.
It is our job to piss off everyone, I feel.
We're going to get everybody tonight.
If we haven't pissed off everyone by the end of the night, we haven't done our job. All right, we've got
Hannah says, boys, no.
Hannah, don't tell us what to do.
We'll probably do it anyway.
Anyway, as I was saying, welcome, guys, to this very odd live stream. I wanted to do this yesterday. In fact, yesterday what I wanted to do was do a live stream where I played a Star Wars game like Battlefront 2 or Star Wars Star Wars what was it? Not the Force Awakens. What was it?
The Old Republic?
The Old Republic is an option, but I was also referring to Star Wars. What's that one that got really popular? The one with the kid, the Padawan who. Why can't I remember the name?
It wasn't dark. Like it wasn't completely Dark Souls, but it had similar mechanics.
Star Wars.
But I know which one you're talking about. Like came out recently. It was like an EA one. It was actually good because.
Yeah, I can't remember the name of it. I can't remember the name of it for the life of me.
Fallen Order. Was
Fallen Order. That's it. Star Wars Fallen Order. I actually really liked that game. But anyway, those were games that I had wanted to play yesterday, but I didn't get off work in time. It was a pretty late night. And then of course had other things to deal with that night anyway. And so we're doing it tonight, and I figured it would kind of defeat the purpose if we did a Star Wars thing tonight. Besides, we just got back, and I'd have to re-download any game that we did, except for Star Wars The Old Republic. And let's face it, guys, do y'all really want to watch me play Star Wars The Old Republic for a while? I feel like y'all would get bored of that.
I mean, we did stream it on Discord once.
We streamed it on Discord, but I don't know. I feel like my YouTube community wouldn't really care much. But in honor of the fact that yesterday was May the 4th be with you, and For Honor didn't bother to bring back the Star Wars event mode, I thought it would be fun to do this stream, and we'll talk a little bit about Star Wars, the good, the bad, and the sequels. Because I wouldn't even call the sequels bad, genuinely. I would call them...
atrocious.
Horrendous. Bastardizations. Horrific. I'd rather put glass in my eyes than watch them. Like, genuinely, they are a bane upon the existence of humanity. They are a crime against good storytelling. Let's not.
And I particularly don't care for them.
Alright, this is already starting off bad, boys, but it's okay.
Warriors is high,
Good to have you along. It promises to be a very interesting... You are a hairy person, aren't you?
Harry the platypus!
Oh, that didn't work out so hot,
It's
did it?
another Roman Civil War.
You got to make it stop. But anyway, okay, so I want to talk for a minute about the history that we had with Star Wars. So here's how Star Wars kind of happened for us. Truly, and Lark, you correct me on this if you think I'm missing something, but this is how I remember it.
I correct you normally.
Yes, you do. As I recall, our experience with Star Wars was very interesting. We had there was this local library in town, and we had they had movies that you could rent. And one of the movies in there was Star Wars: The Phantom Menace. And Mom and Dad, they knew what Star Wars was. They said, "Oh, you might like that," because they hadn't seen Phantom Menace. We watched it, and Mom and Dad enjoyed it. They thought it was a fun ride. But me and Lark, you know, we really loved the lightsaber fights. We loved the cool visuals. We loved the really cool
We love space.
We love the pod racing too. I know that everyone says that they don't like it. We enjoyed it.
As kids, we loved it. As adults, I'm kind of like, I kind of want to just get to Maul's fight, please. But
yeah, the favorite part for us was the fight with Darth Maul.
yep. But as a kid, I did like the pod racing thing. It was always like a suspenseful moment. But I enjoyed it. And I remember you getting very, rolling your eyes, because I was driving, and Dad was driving down the road, I was thinking about the Phantom Menace, and I said, "Hey, I think that kid Anakin might grow up to be Darth Vader." And you went, "No, you think?" Of course, I was like 2, so.
Hold on, let me deal with these guys, and I'll get back to telling y'all our history of Star Wars. Oh God! Oh my God! I'm alive! I'm alive!
Run, coward.
That's right, you better run, boy, you bet, yeah! 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 No! No! You cowards! You ran away from the grandpa! Oh! No!
Hey, don't kick. Hey, that's mean. That's
Stop
elderly
kicking
abuse.
grandpa! Stop kicking grandpa! Anyway, back to the point. Okay, so we were in love with the Phantom Menace. Okay, so then we got to watch Attack of the Clones. I don't know why Attack of the Clones didn't get to me as much as the other one. I did enjoy it, but it wasn't quite as good, I felt like, as the Phantom Menace. Just because, I don't know, the lightsaber combat wasn't quite as fun. It wasn't quite as engaging to me. And though the clone fights were pretty cool, I felt like it all came at the end, so I was kind of like,
I was actually typically pretty happy whenever Padme was not on screen.
Yeah, we didn't really get into the love story aspect, but again, we were kids, you know, we weren't looking for romance.
Well, also, that was also, I tuned out completely, so, none of the bad dialogue between Anakin and Padme registered till I was, in high school.
Yeah, genuinely, so it was like we barely really thought about it. But then we saw Revenge of the Sith, and you know what? We were a little older, but it was everything we wanted to see. We felt like, you know, this is Star Wars. You know, this reminded us of the Phantom Menace. We were in love with it. We loved it so much. We thought it was the coolest thing ever. The fight scenes were great. Anakin's journey to becoming Darth Vader was perfect. We thought that it was done incredibly well. Now, keep in mind, we were kids. We didn't understand things from an objective metric yet. So, genuinely, we had room to grow. But we liked General Grievous. We liked Palpatine being revealed. We liked everything about it.
We liked the Senate.
And then we were introduced to the original trilogy. And we actually liked it. Our only criticism was, the lightsaber fight scenes weren't as good. But
everything else was amazing.
When we got to, like, genuinely what happened was, as we got older, we began to respect the original trilogy more, saying, wow, this is actually way better than we remember. And we started to notice, the Phantom Menace and the Clone Wars and Revenge of the Sith, despite how cool the action was, not as good as we remember. So we were kind of like, okay. So we recognized the original trilogy as being better. But we still had a respect for all of it. I still respected the original trilogy and what it was trying to do. I recognized it had problems. I recognized it wasn't perfect. But I thought that it was still a decently made series. And, I could see the love in it. I think that's the big thing about the prequel trilogies for me. Everyone who says the prequels were a bastardization of the original. Here's the thing. When I look at the prequels, I think, this was a love letter. This was George Lucas saying, the original trilogy is wonderful. I want to do more with it. I want to tell what happened. I want to tell the build-up. I want to honor what the original was by telling about what happened, what came to be. And I thought that was a cool idea. Did he do perfectly? No. There were a lot of areas he could have done better. I thought that, of course, Anakin's acting and some of the line reads were pretty bad.
I don't think Anakin's acting. I think he just had bad direction. Like, Hayden Christensen, I think, is an okay actor. I just think that he was given George Lucas dialogue and George Lucas direction. You might be able to survive with one of those things, but with two of them, you need to be like an incredibly talented actor like Ewan McGregor to be able to get through that.
Genuinely, you need a good. Every actor needs good direction. There's no question. But I also thought that other problems included Padme sometimes had poor moments.
Well, yeah, that's one thing I always do. It's like everyone's like, Anakin's just such a bad actor, and I'm looking at Natalie Portman playing Padme, like, you're gonna let some of that slide?
But to be fair, she had some good moments. I thought her worst moments were in The Phantom Menace.
Yeah, I agree, but it's just like I remember seeing some of her line reads. I'm like, you're gonna get on Anakin, but she gets a free pass,
right? But. Yeah, I think that, genuinely, I think the prequels get a bad rep for no reason. Like, okay, maybe not for no reason, but I feel like the hate is unwarranted. I think that the prequel series, for what it was trying to do, did it well enough to be serviceable. And while I think that it's right for people to say, I'm not a big fan of it, then again, like, it's their opinion. But I think that people going after it saying, it's the worst thing that ever happened to Star Wars, come on. Especially now that the sequel series is out, people who say it, I'm like, come on.
Considering how much the prequels expanded, like keep in mind, there wasn't real backlash for the prequels for like at least 5 years before people started to go, maybe they weren't that good. There was still the idea like, hey, this is really cool, like Star Wars stuff. I remember being like, I was in 3rd grade when the Revenge of the Sith came out, and every single one of us were like Star Wars junkies for like the rest of our lives. Every single one of us was excited. Even like when we got into like high school and people started to point out, hey, the prequels aren't that great. We were just like, yeah, but we still like it. It wasn't until like right before the sequel started to come out, like it was like right around the time Disney had bought Star Wars, people were starting to say, man, the prequels really weren't all that great. We don't like them all that much. I was still in the case like, I like them. I even went to maybe as far as referring to them as a guilty pleasure. But then the sequels came out, and they added nothing.
Well, like I said, I felt like the prequel series was a love letter. The sequel series was hate mail. It was basically taking everything that the sequel was, everything the original trilogy was, and shitting on it. It was essentially saying, that series that you fell in love with? We're going to do it better. You see, say what you want about the prequel series, but they never said we're going to do the original trilogy but better. They said we're going to set the stage for the original trilogy. The sequel series said we can do it better than the original trilogy can. We can make characters you'll love more. Why will you love them more? Because we're gonna, we're gonna make characters that do everything they can do but better.
Yeah, well, it wasn't we're going to make characters that can do everything the old characters did but better. It's like, no, we're going to make Rey do everything the old characters did but better. And I think that was the big problem. But another thing like that, like we were sort of touching on it earlier, and Mal's actually going so far as saying he's a fan of the prequels. The originals was good and he likes them, but the prequels are just excellent. Very biased opinion. Fight me. Mal, I'm not going to fight you because I like that opinion. You keep it up. But the issue is like prequels, they added so much to the Star Wars lore and stories. Like,
You couldn't have Legends without the prequels.
I mean, there were Legends before, but typically they were like roughly around and shortly after the original trilogy, which was good stuff. We got the Uzong Vong, Dark Empire, Timothy Zane's Thrawn series, which is amazing.
Yeah.
And so that's all good, but the Clone Wars opened up to the possibilities, and we made us start even looking further back in like the Old Republic, the origins of the Jedi and the Sith. And honestly, the Old Republic is some of my favorite moments in Star Wars, just because of how grandiose it gets. Because one thing that I really like, I really do like about the prequels is there's actually the feeling that it's a full-on conventional war rather than just large-scale guerrilla warfare, because the Galactic Civil War doesn't really become a full-on conventional war until after the 6th movie, and then most of that happens in between movies after that. So it was nice to see, even though it was just droid on clone, it was still a full-scale conventional war. It was actually a Star War.
Correct. But I think the other thing to keep in mind is that with the sequel series, I mean, let's put it this way. This is my philosophy on Star Wars. What is Star Wars at its core? And I'm not talking about the Legends or all that stuff that came before. I'm talking about Star Wars as a series, as a film series. What's it about? What's it really about? It's about Luke. Star Wars is about Luke Skywalker. It's about his story. It's about his journey. You know, the first film, the 4th movie, you know, The New Hope, it was about setting up who Luke was, where he came from. Second movie was about establishing his relationship to Darth Vader and what that mattered about. And then the third one was the closure about how his relationship ends. Hold on.
Yep. Oh, yeah.
I got to deal with this.
LeBoge wants to, while you're doing that, LeBoge has pointed out very poignantly, the fight in the sequels are also very poorly choreographed. In the throne room, for example, Snoke, they literally had to edit out one of the knife sabers from the Royal Guard to protect Rey.
Oh, we'll talk about that in a minute. I just want to get back to the story first.
Yep.
Hold on. This Shinobi who's been kicking him out of the butt.
But an interesting question here is, do you think that Lord of the Rings is going down the same path as Star Wars?
Yes, I do. But again, let's stick to Star Wars for now, and we can talk about Lord of the Rings a little bit later.
But before, while you're focused on that, I'm gonna say, I think it's the same sort of result, but different method to get there. And Ezio, no, we're supposed to be.
Ezio, no!
I'm your biggest fan
now. Yeah, we won that one. Okay,
Freeze frame.
Back to Talkman. So like I said, the original trilogy was Luke's story. Now, what did the prequels do? They set up how Darth Vader, Luke's father, came into the picture. Phantom Menace was about finding Darth Vader, or Anakin, on that Tatooine planet and getting him into the Jedi Council. Then second movie was about how he fell in love with Padme, his walk towards the dark side is... Because the thing about Anakin, you got to recognize, even though people say his story wasn't written well, I would disagree. I think it was written well. I think it was written sloppily. I think it could have been handled with better pacing. Anakin, I think the biggest problem with Anakin is we're supposed to think that he fell from the light into the dark, but we don't see enough of the light in him to see that fall, you know? What about him was light? What about him was good at first, you know? What about him was all about that light at first? Actually, let's go ahead and pull out of that. We need to go do the Dominion. So what did he do good? What did he do righteous?
Did you change orders?
No, I didn't. We'll do it in a minute. But I think that was the biggest problem. We needed to see some light in Anakin so that we could more appreciate the fall to the dark. But the idea was he had believed himself powerful. Like, remember his talk with Padme? He says, I'm stronger. I'm stronger than almost all the Jedi. I'm even stronger than Obi-Wan. And they're afraid of that. They don't respect me. They keep holding me back. He believes that because he has power, he's entitled to a lot more. And that mentality allows him to be corrupted by Palpatine, who understands, yeah, that's a Sith idea. You have power. You should do what you want with that power. Don't be afraid of your power. Take advantage of it. Use it for your own ends. That's not something you should be afraid of. It's something you should fully embrace, you know? And so he works with him. He kind of molds him into the Sith Lord he wants to be. So that by the third movie, we see that though Anakin has come into his own as a warrior, he is now further into Palpatine's clutches than ever before. He's still whiny. He still wants more. And you know what? The news that he's about to have a baby, he's about to be a father. it scares him even more because he starts having visions that Padme will die. In fact, I'm of the opinion that the scenes of Padme dying were given to him by Palpatine. I think Palpatine willed him to have these visions so that they would scare him into running to the dark side. That's just my opinion. I would need to look more into it to really know for sure. But the idea was we see, and while it could have been written better, we see Anakin become Darth Vader, who in turn becomes the father of Luke, who in turn is a part of Luke's story. What do the sequels do? Do they honor Luke Skywalker? Do they add to his story? Literally, they disrespected Luke's story. They basically established that he ran away when the galaxy needed him most. That he hid out on an island when his friends were in peril. That at the end of it all, he just pretends to look cool when he has a hollow fight with Kylo Ren. He basically abandoned his friends and family and didn't even have the guts to face up to his problems himself, and instead he yeeted himself out of existence, and then later showed up to just tell Rey, hey, you know what? You were right all along. I was wrong. I was wrong to do all this. You were right. And isn't that the ultimate... Really think about this. Really think about this. The sequel series with Rey killing Palpatine in the end... Oh, spoilers. With Rey killing Palpatine in the end...
Killing the franchise, you mean.
Think about this. Think about this with that. Think about this, okay? It basically made the prequels and the original trilogy obsolete. You could watch the sequel series on their own, not having seen any of the previous movies, and you would have gotten a full story. You know, with the prequels, they set up what came before. The original trilogy is the OT, it's the original. But with the sequels, you don't need the OT to tell us about what happened afterwards. Give Legend of Korra credit. You wouldn't understand much of Legend of Korra unless you watched the original Avatar: The Last Airbender. But with the sequel series, no, you could totally watch that without the prequels or the original, and you'd be totally fine. Heck, you might be better off.
Actually, that's what many people argue. Like, I think there's like a ratio. Like, the less you knew about Star Wars, the more likely you were to actually enjoy the sequel series.
And I don't even think I could enjoy it, even if I knew it. Star Wars.
Well, I mean, no, but I'm just saying, like, your chance, like, you will be drawn to, like, ooh, pretty effects. But the thing, there's also, like, a ratio of, like, people, like, they'll go in, they'll watch it, they'll like it, and then the more they think about it, they'll go, you know, actually, I'm, like, now that I think about it, it really wasn't that good. You and I hated it from the outset, but there are some people that took some time for them to go, you know what, it really wasn't that good.
Good God.
Oh, Mao says, I think the Clone Wars series was an expansion on Anakin and showing his goodness and also his flaws that could lead him to the dark side. I completely agree with that. The Clone Wars series was amazing, and it did give so much more depth to what Anakin's character.
Oh man, okay, this Law Daddy ain't new. He's been around for a while. I thought he might be new given his armor, but nah, he's done this before. Okay. He was pretty good. Okay, anyway, back to what I was saying. Sorry about that. Got wasted. But yeah, I agree with that. The problem is, I would say this. While I agree that the Clone Wars and all that were excellent for establishing Anakin as a more rounded character, I wouldn't use other sources to defend the movie itself. If you have to go to a third-party source or a second-party source to discuss a movie, like say, oh, well, look, if you just read this book or watch this TV series, you'll understand.
Well, I agree with that as an overall principle, but like as far as the overall franchise goes, it's overall a solid improvement. But the thing is, here's the difference: Clone Wars did not need to be made, but I'm glad that it did. But in order for the sequel series to have any form of coherent sense, it needed novelizations to cover its BS. Like the idea, like in The Last Jedi novelization, they explain, Rey gets all of her, is suddenly good at all this because she absorbed all of Kylo's memories. Oh, is she like Alex Mercer from Prototype now? She can just suck memories out of people and gain all their skills? Yep. When was this? Like, why do the Jedi or Sith bother training anyone the way they can just say, hey, let's force connect for a little bit? Alright, you've downloaded everything you need. You're good to go.
Yeah, and I've heard some really shit arguments. Like, I love Reds. Remember how I made fun of Red and Blue from Overly Sarcastic Productions? Red tried to defend some of Rey's actions, like Rey mind controlling a stormtrooper by saying, well, you know, she's heard legends about Jedi, so she probably just thought that she probably just figured out what she could do from the legends.
Yeah, and in her defense, that was before The Last Jedi came out, and so it was like, because there were some, like, even like before The Last Jedi came out, I was even saying, like, you know, the 7th has some problems, but the 8th will probably fix them up and clear those up, because we're gonna get to see Luke again. And then The Last Jedi was a dumpster fire. And so I haven't heard her mention anything about Rey since then. I would be willing to bet she probably would not like care to continue that stance, or at least if she did, it would be heavily abridged. But then again, her reasoning even before this was rather ridiculous. But
I like this match because it's just this Centurion and Lawbringer ganking. It's all. Good job, you two. You won.
I think Lawbringer's pretty good on his own.
Oh, I think he's good on his own, but the Centurion's counting on that. That's the thing. The Centurion over there is counting on the Lawbringer being good.
Oh, that's okay. They're about to get ganked from
Yeah, they're about to get ganked right back.
Oh, now it's 15.
Anyway, but yeah, I genuinely... if you even asked me to defend the sequel double, I can't think of lost.
The only defense I could come up with them is like sort of the ER defense, like they were purposely designed to destroy a franchise. Like, if they were just like, I actually hate Star Wars and I'm going to do everything in my power to destroy the franchise, then yes, they're perfect. But there's no, like, there's no way that would work, and then there's no way that Disney would hire you to do that. But what it is ironic is that Disney, and it's not the only time they've done this, they go out of their way to purchase a franchise because it already has a well-established fan base, because they are creatively bankrupt right now. And then they add their own nonsense to it that they can't seem to get to work on their own IPs. And so they add that nonsense to the IPs they just bought. And then when people don't like it, they go, oh, well, we're trying to make it for a new audience. Like, well, then why did you buy it? Just create something new with these new ideas for it. But no, they know it won't sell. And so they're constantly in this paradox of wanting to make money, but also insert drivel.
I think what bothers me so much is they obviously bought the Star Wars franchise and name so that they could, I don't want to risk it, so that they could capitalize on the popularity of it and try to get its fans, you know? Mm-hmm. Disney wanted the Star Wars fans, but when they started corrupting everything that Star Wars stood for and mocking its very premise, when the fans said, and rightfully so, we don't like this, what are you, okay, if you want to stay in there, what are you,
okay,
I mean, alright, you stand there, I will watch you play your freaking thing, or are you just waiting on, are you waiting on someone to show up so you can
There's somebody in the zone.
Alright, I'll deal with them. He can stand there and do what he wants. I don't know what's going on here. I'm very confused.
We're all confused. Now, the thing is, how did Revenge gain since it was now a 2-on-2?
Whatever, it's all fine.
But, yeah, let's see. I agree with you, Rod. Legends to me, is the true sequels as well. Also, just logically, to me, it makes more sense. But, Ron also brings up another good point, like, how did Finn not use a lightsaber as well if he wasn't Force-sensitive? You can activate a lightsaber, even if you're not Force-sensitive. But the issue is, like, they were clearly teasing that, oh, Finn's probably going to be Force-sensitive, and the idea that you start out as a Stormtrooper, and then eventually work your way up and to become a Jedi, I really like that idea. That would be really cool. But, no, it was just wasted potential, because it would take away from the Mary Sue. And so Finn, like, he goes from having a great deal of potential to just being a background character.
Well, he was the token, you know? They wanted a black character, and they treated him as a token. All right, let's go.
So, we know that Griffin back there is trying to multi-class as a bard.
Alright. You captured Zone A.
Well, I wonder where the Jedi of the Old Republic, could they teleport their lightsabers because they can literally fight ghost spirits, and the Sith had a ritual to consume Force ghosts but can't teleport lightsabers? If you're the Old Republic has some interesting stuff in it, and like there you do have like Sith sorcerers. Then again, we did see sort of that in the Clone Wars too with Night Sisters. So the Force can do some, but they do say that the Force can do some crazy stuff.
All right, this is what's happening right now. sad now. So sad. Oh well, I mean that Griffin seemed nice anyway. I mean he was just trying to get his violin recital over with.
He came to the wrong game. He was like, I was like, I thought this was going to be like a band, like a band off, not the.
It's rock band, only medieval.
No, it's rock band with actual rock.
All right. Boom. And roll out. There we go.
Autobots, roll out.
I feel better about that one. I feel good. I feel good. I feel powerful. I feel like the Shugoki Pokey Joe. And one quit. Who quit? Who quit? Their Lawbringer quit. That's a shame. He was a decent Lawbringer.
Yeah, he was. Well, yes.
Wait, he's still alive! The Lawbringer must have quit when he saw that they were losing.
Huh.
I hate when they do that. I really don't like doing that. I don't like quitting, even when I know we're breaking. You know, it's like, you don't get any points for quitting. But anyway.
Oh, this Raven is Jack Black confirmed.
Why am I Jack Black?
Because of the rock band thing.
Oh, God, no. Anyone want to give me a... Come on, man. Give me here. I'm open. Come on. Yeah! Boom!
Did you just like fire damage him? Oh, this was a terrible plan.
Oh, yeah. Why? I just got hit in the face.
Hey, Raven, is Golden Death a fitting name for my El Salvadorian Pacific Rim Jaeger?
Yes.
Why not?
I would go with it. Anyway, we were talking about Star Wars. So, are there any thoughts or discussion points on Star Wars?
Well, there's a couple. Let's see. Guy Strachan said, well, he said two things. One, Guy Strachan says he's doing a Star Wars themed airsoft event this weekend, and he wanted to remind us that he's going to be wearing his Apollyon outfit. You have to bring a lightsaber. Okay. That's not up for debate. And also, he says, General Grievous remains to be my favorite character. Literally a Jedi hunting cyborg that could wield 4 lightsabers at once and didn't need the Force to be a threat. Agreed. Like, particularly in the animated series, like the original 2003 animated series, he was a monster.
Yeah, but they kind of did him dirt in the Clone Wars.
Yeah.
He did nothing substantial in the Clone Wars.
He sure did exist.
How many viewers we got on the stream right now?
37.
That's less than I expected, but...
I'm willing to bet some people were a little confused by, like, the thumbnail and title.
Still says For Honor stream above it.
Yeah, but that's not what the big letters say.
Well, whatever. It's not a big deal, really. Let's mix things up. Let's go...
Oh, here's a good question. Hey, Raven, do you think that in Star Wars media we need more main characters who are aliens?
Yes, actually. It's a funny thing. Y'all notice on my thumbnail, that character, that is one of my primary characters in the story Star Wars... I think I called it The Legacy of the Force. But regardless of that, she is the main character of the story. I think that if you're going to have an expanded galaxy of various different races and cultures and species, it would be good to have some of them as main characters. And she is one.
Yeah.
If only I could settle on a name for her. I keep coming up with different names.
Well, if we could actually get Thrawn on the big screen, I'd be a happy camper.
I wish that I could turn this story that I'm writing into a full-on thing, because I love what I did with her.
Yeah, well, I'd also like to see, like, a sort of a story between, like, 2 Sith in the Old Republic, sort of like a Prince of Egypt style thing.
Yeah,
that'd be cool.
But, well, you know, it's funny because in the story that I'm writing, the main character, she almost walks the path of the dark side, but finds a way back through the Sage, you know.
Yeah, I know, but I wanted to, like, sort of like the idea of, like, there's a Sith that's trying to, like, redeem himself. Like, he draws a line and he has to start turning away from the darkness. I think that would be kind of interesting to see.
Right.
Particularly if, like, we actually see, like, him growing up within the Empire, like, he has attachments to the Empire itself, and maybe some of those attachments actually backfire with the Empire, and that's what kind of forces him to go the other way. Like, he's not 100% on board with the Jedi, but he recognizes that for the sake of the people he cares about and what he stands for, he has to turn away, and that means that he actually has to go against people he previously, like, referred to as, like, brothers.
Oh, for sure. I could see that.
Yep. But yeah, oh yeah, everyone's agreeing with, like, Mouse, they did Grievous dirty, but I will give them credit for sticking with continuity by having Grievous coughing and stuff due to having his organs crushed by Mace Windu.
There you go.
There it is.
What the?
I was never interested in Star Wars, never even watched the movies of the show. Well, if you ever get the inkling for it, check it out. If not, that's up to you.
It's up to you. Hi. What the? He's gone! He noticed my power and decided not to fight me.
You captured
No.
Zone A.
If you strike me down, I shall only
You're
become
more
more powerful.
powerful than you can possibly imagine.
He is now one with the Force. He is more powerful than us all.
Anyway. Oh,
Oh,
whoa!
I want to see a movie about the Blackwing virus. Oh, dude, that's like a one-shot horror movie. That'd be awesome. I kind of wish For Honor would have a Star Wars execution.
What the hell? How did I beat that Tiandi? How? How?
I think maybe somebody whispered in his ear Tiananmen Square and he glitched out. I don't know.
This is the ride of the Valkyries.
Actually, kind of standing there. This is the stand of the Valkyries. It's just not the same riff.
Now it sounds like a JoJo reference. This is the stand of the Valkyries.
Oh gosh.
Dun, 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 dun. No. Anyway.
Oh gosh, we're already interacting with the Star Wars fandom. Don't get the JoJo fandom in here. We'll start a war. Death loves you, by the way.
Thank you.
Ultra Instinct Valkyrie. There you go. We'll see if we can keep that going. I do like this Tiandi's beard, though. Hey, man, I don't appreciate that. Ride of the Valkyries. You have no idea how overused that musical number is, do you? But what if we like it, though?
I'm not referring to the musical number. I'm referring to the song by Brothers of Metal.
Yeah, but I still like the original.
Oh yeah, I like the original.
Imagine a comedy about stormtroopers being trained. Oh, that'd be good. That would be hilarious.
In any case, anything else about the? Oh, are we doing this again? Oh, it's you.
It's a Shaman. Do you think they could make a show about Crix the clone? Or Kix the clone? Maybe.
You want to kick the clone?
No!
Oh crap.
Hi, thank you, Tiandi.
We're having an honorable match now. Oh! Light Parry, the god himself!
Alright, Dylan, we'll if we ever get the chance to, we'll check it out. They recommend we look into a book called Death Trees. We'll see if it's on Audible. Next time we're out running or something. Like, apparently in the What If lore of Star Wars, Master Obi-Wan would have brought Anakin to the Night Sisters so he can control the light and the dark side to what he was meant to be. Well, the problem is, nobody, is particularly Obi-Wan, would be willing to bring him to the Night Sisters because the temptation of the dark side would be too strong, particularly since he was brought into the Order so old.
Right.
Now, it may not be necessarily a bad idea. That's why, like, Qui-Gon fighting Maul is literally called the Duel of Fates, because when Maul won, the dark side won out, because Qui-Gon was the only Jedi who had the scruples to actually train Anakin up to be a proper light side user that was able to balance the fact that he still had attachments and feelings and emotions.
Alright, let's go again.
Grievous' name is actually really sad. According to the EU, he renamed himself Grievous after watching his wife die fighting the Klesh, Evil's Freedom. He literally watched her get torn apart. Yeah, that's one another really problem. Like, the Legends had like such like deep sort of like morally gray lore to it, which was really cool. And a lot of the Disney canon wasn't. They didn't have the same level of depth.
Right.
In other cases, they added depth where I really don't think they needed it.
Correct.
Like one good example is lightsaber crystals, kyber crystals.
Yeah.
In the original Legends, the reason the Sith had red lightsaber crystals was because, well, where they were in their part of the galaxy, they couldn't get access to them, so they synthetically made them, and the only one they could synthetically make were red crystals. And over time, even when they got natural ones, they just continued to use red because it would sort of become a tradition at that point. But in the new version, kyber crystals are living, and you can take any kyber crystal and sort of corrupt it to change its color, or... Yeah, it's weird. I was like, so crystals are now living. It's now kyber crystals are lyrium from Dragon Age. Yay. Raven, what do you think about Mandalorian culture?
It's a culture.
Heavily based off of, like, Spartan-esque culture, in my opinion. Kind of like Spartan-Viking hybrid. Except for whenever Duchess Satine is in charge. Oh, Death is saying, Lark, the reason I love Lord Raven is because he wrote my diary. Aw, isn't that nice?
Oh, I thought I parried that.
You lost.
You will never be Perry the Platypus. Never!
Never! That shaman's pretty good, not gonna lie.
There should be sort of a
Or maybe I'm just bad.
There should be sort of a documentary-style movie on the droids of the Clone Wars.
You know...
They should call it Roger Roger.
I feel like the Clone Wars was so fascinating. Not the show, I mean just in general. The Clone Wars was fascinating.
I'm pretty sure, like, gosh, I can't remember, like, Kings and Generals, their new channel that handles, like, sci-fi and fantasy stuff, I'm pretty sure they're going to cover, like, the entire Clone Wars in full detail.
They should. I think that was fascinating. Better than what we got in this New Order and Republic thing. Oh, hi.
Oh, gosh, don't get me started on that nonsense.
You performed a kick and I couldn't punish it.
Yeah. Person, I respect that you like that. Like, I can get like why people like, oh, I like the fact they have to sort of bleed and suffer, but to me that just adds a little bit too much edge to it. I like it more like the dark side actually corrupts the people that are using it, not just like, oh, look, my crystal changed color. Yeah, I know, LaBoge, that's how it is currently, but it used to be in the original, like, in Legends, it was just you could go out and you could find whatever color crystal you could find.
And there it is, the lights.
Raven, have you seen Hatred, the Darth Maul tribute?
No, I haven't.
Actually, I think you have. It's just been a while.
It probably has been a while. It's been a long time since I've seen anything Star Wars related other than, well, I mean, I did have to watch the sequel series at some point, and I did, so. Very awful. You know people who complain that the prequels had bad dialogue? No.
They fly now.
They fly now!
Yeah, they've had jetpacks
and then no, my favorite, the Death Star. It's a bad place.
The Death Star a bad place, you don't say.
That scene where she pulls out the dagger to find where the thing is located, I kid you not, I saw that and I thought to myself, are you serious? I had to pause the thing and get up and walk away. I was like, are you for what right now?
Well, here, and also, the fact that the Death Star dropped onto this planet, like, and caused no major, like, keep in mind, like, how much damage an asteroid impact can have if it's just of moderate size. We're talking about a moon-sized space station, cracks in half, and falls, and there is no disruption to the local ecosystem whatsoever. That place should be in a nigh-eternal ice age at best, and they design a knife literally to tell you where the room is.
And the best part is this guy used the knife. You know, the assassin, Darth Uchi, whatever his name, he used that knife to kill people. You think blood and shit wouldn't corrode that blade over time? And even better, in order to use it properly, you would need to be away. You need to be the right distance away, the right angle, and holding the blade up in just the right way to get what you need to do.
I mean, how hard would it have been to pull like an Indiana Jones and like in the Raiders of the Lost Ark where you have like a little marker where you know where you need to stand?
The stars need to freaking align to make this plot work.
And they didn't.
And even with the stars aligned, it didn't work. And don't even get me started on that ending. Screw that ending. Okay. No, we've got one more match to go to finish up this order, so let's go P-Rack.
And there's a question on the table. What do you think of Trandoshans in their culture?
What are the Trandoshans again? I forget.
Remember the
lizard men?
Yeah, like Bosk.
No, those lizard guys like Bosk.
Yeah.
I think they're cool. I think it's a really neat idea, like this hunter society, like who lives entirely off of like bounty hunting, and they have this. If I remember this from Star Wars: The Old Republic, basically their whole mythology is that there's a scorekeeper, like some kind of god who keeps track of like how many lives they take in battle, and the higher your score, the better you will be in paradise, like when you die. And it's very much like a warrior culture. If you are shamed, like if you get defeated or captured or anything like that, then you lose your points. If you die in battle, then all of your points are calculated, and that goes into how your score is, kept. And I think that's fascinating. I think that's a really cool idea. But that does beg the question, like, what else do Trandoshans do besides fight? Like, is there more to their culture than just fighting, or is that it? Like,
well, it's not even just fighting; it's hunting.
Right.
That's why so many of them become bounty hunters because, well, it puts dinner on the table and they get to go kill stuff.
Right, but that's the question. Like, what about, let's say you have a bounty hunter Trandoshan. What if he has a wife and kids? Like, what do the wife and kids do? Like, are there Trandoshan?
I assume it's like a predator society.
Yeah, probably. They're probably based around predators.
All right. You think the Force being neutral is better, making it people who wield it choose to be evil or not?
Yes, I think that the Force should not have, like, a will of its own. I think that the Force is just an energy field, as it was designed in the very first movie. The Force interacts with everything. It ties all living things together. All connect to the Force, you know? And how you choose to use it. When he says Vader was seduced by the dark side of the Force, that's not like saying that the Force has some kind of will. It's just that they were seduced by what the Force could offer in a dark context. Okay, good move. But yeah, I don't think that the Force should have, like, oh, this is the dark side of the Force talking, because then that makes a lot of things no longer.
Yeah, it's a little weird. But, anyway, let's see. What do you think of Darth Maul?
Oh, I like him. Oh, crap.
You lost.
Good job, guys. You beat me.
Alright.
I know I got that Gladiator first, though, so I'm going to live with that win.
What I want to know is who discovered Kyber crystals and how they could be used for lightsabers.
There's always kind of that question, isn't there? How it all kind of starts. Like, who was the first person who looked at a cow and said, I'm going to grab that thing by the udder and see what comes out of it? Who said that first, you know?
Also, can you imagine the calf walking over, what are you doing to my mom?
Hold on, Shaman, I'm coming.
What are your thoughts on Revan?
Easily one of the most Chad characters in the Star Wars universe.
Yep. And the concept of Grey Jedi. Thing is, for me, the concept of Grey Jedi I like and I also don't like because at the same time, because honestly, if you look at Sith and Jedi ideology, the common average person would not agree with either one of them. But Grey Jedi, it almost seems like kind of too perfect. And it's kind of like, how come people haven't come around to the idea of a Grey Jedi around if it's a feasible possibility? So I like it in concept, but I think like you need somebody like Revan to be able to, or Qui-Gon to be able to balance, to work that balancing act.
Right. Oh, you almost sent the Warlord to his doom. That would have been funny.
Hey, dude, play Star Wars: The Old Republic. Oh, we have accounts.
We have accounts, but I don't think anyone would care. Let me ask y'all a genuine question, and please answer this in chat. If I played a stream, because I can only stream one night a week, guys. My schedule won't allow me to do anything else. Would you watch me play Star Wars: The Old Republic? Would you actually watch that? Would you actually watch me play Star Wars: The Old Republic? Like, play one of my profiles on Star Wars: The Old Republic? But answer me honestly in the chat. Would you willingly spend your time watching me do that? Or no? Because, for honor, let's face it, whether or not I play it too often, you can't deny that it's more fast-paced.
You're getting a lot of yeses here. No. He hasn't played Star Wars.
He light parried me from that position. Good job, dude. Get him. Rochi, get him. And you're done.
Dr. Calibration, being honest here, I'd probably watch, but I'm not sure how many would.
Yeah, that's exactly my point. It's like maybe I'd get 3 or 4 people watching. But right now I think we have, what's the number, 52, 50, like somewhere in there?
Yeah, well, if you'd like, what I can do is like maybe, I don't know, Saturday or something.
Run away, gladiator!
Saturday I can like stream Star Wars content of some kind, and we can go off of numbers from there.
I don't know, because I don't think it would be a fair assessment because it's you playing, not me.
That's true. That's true.
Not that I don't want you to stream. I know that y'all.
No, you hate me.
I know that y'all would like a large stream.
Could play Battlefront 2. We actually have streamed Battlefront 2 before. It's been a minute.
Ow! What the heck happened? What happened? Oh, he shot me with his crossbow.
Ah, that makes sense.
That makes sense. Okay.
I was watching JoJo recently and I thought, could Star Wars have an equivalent to stands?
No.
Force Ghosts.
No.
No, it's too late. It's too late. The
I
sequel's already established.
It's like Rag said on EFAT. What's the point in being alive? Force Ghosts can just do whatever the hell they want. But that adds so many new questions. Like, okay, if Force Ghosts can do whatever the hell they want, why couldn't a Force Ghost show up to tell Kylo Ren what to do? Like, because Kylo Ren was all like, I'm going to finish what you started, grandfather. I'm going to be the evil creature you were. Kylo? Well, Anakin, why aren't you going to stop Kylo right now? Anakin, go tell Kylo he's full of shit, please. Go tell Kylo not to be as unlikable as anal cancer.
I will go ahead and tell you why. Would you like to know why? Because Padme is still giving him the biggest post-mortem lecture and nagging of his afterlife. It's still going on. And it keeps getting worse the more and more Kylo F's up. It's like you just had to go to the dark side. You just said, like, if you had been around to raise the kids, I would have been like, yes, dear, yes, dear. Oh, this is interesting. Scroll away.
Oh, man!
Raven Lark, to be honest, since I discovered your channel, a lot of other YouTubers are boring to me now. That was the whole plan.
We got you! We got you! We threw you in and we caught you! It is over now!
This wasn't just a happy accident. We planned this. Totally.
This was the point. You know, everyone keeps saying Pirate is broken, and she 100% is. I'm not great. She 100% is broken. But me playing Pirate right now, I'm about to take the first L of the night.
Well, a pirate's life is for you. Short, sweet, and honestly not as profitable as advertised. Let's be real, most pirates' lives don't actually end up the way we want one. Anakin was busy trying to find Padme for ghostly shenanigans. You're dang right, Mal.
You're dang right. He knew she was dead, and he's like, I'm about to get some business I ain't had before. If the Force binds everything, I'm about to get bound, son.
I do like the one thing, like, where, in the 9th movie, they edit in, Hayden Christensen to, like, talk to Kylo, going like, she's about to bury my lightsaber in sand, you have to stop her.
Isn't that the ultimate I know. Do you remember, right after George Lucas sold Lucasfilms to Disney, Kathleen Kennedy straight up said, we're going to do everything in our power to respect this IP the way you want it, the way you created it. And then literally it ends with all of his main characters, save for Chewbacca and Lando Calrissian, being dead. And Rey Skywalker now burying their lightsabers, their legacies on Tatooine, the same planet both Anakin and Luke wanted so desperately to get away from. Yes, let's bury their legacies in the sand on the planet they collectively hated and then steal their name. Because this isn't about Luke Skywalker's legacy. This isn't about Anakin Skywalker's legacy. This is about Rey Palpatine's legacy. Holy damn, the more you look at this, you know, Lark and I made a joke that the more you look at Naruto, sorry, I have a fixing orders. The more you look at Star Wars, I mean not Star Wars, Naruto. The more you look at Naruto, the more you really analyze it, the more just stops making sense. The more you look at it and just go, this just doesn't make sense. The more you
go, wait a minute.
Right, but when you look at, the more you look at Star Wars the sequel series, it's not that it doesn't make sense. It's that it's infuriating. So here's the thing. I can laugh at Naruto. The things that they do on Naruto, I can laugh and go, ha ha ha, that you silly people. Oh, that's quite funny. But I watched the Star Wars sequel series and go, what is this? What did... it is so ass-numbingly stupid. It's like, how could you? I think that's the only question you can ask at that point. How could you? How could you do this to me?
Look, first of all, how dare you?
First of all, how dare you? I'm kind of tempted to go conk, but I know I'll lose. What do you think?
Let's see. Do you need to go a heavy?
Yes, I have a heavy order.
Okay, so you've done JJ, you've done Shugo, you've, let's see.
I could go Warlord, I could go Hito, I could go Jormungandr.
You could go BP.
I could
go BP or Jormungandr.
Let's go BP. I haven't gone BP in a bit. Okay. But yeah,
British Petroleum, here we come.
but just the more you see of the sequel series, the more I hate it. You know.
Oh yeah. Who's your favorite Sith Lord?
Ooh, that's a tough one. I mean, obviously you count Revan.
If you can't Revan, but he's sort of quasi, like, outside of...
I would say my favorite Sith Lord, that I know, because I know there are plenty out there, and I don't know all of them, I'm still learning them all. I like...
Kind of like Darth Malgus.
Yeah.
Just because he's got, like, an awesome presence.
He does, but I also like, I mean, let's face it, Darth Maul was enjoyable. But can I just say that Darth Tyrannus, or Count Dooku, was kind of a good presence. Like, he had class, but then again, you know...
Like, I'm looking forward to this. I've been looking forward to this.
Like, he's very clever. Actually,
he has the signature look of superiority.
Let's give Palpatine credit. Darth Sidious. Let's give him credit. The dude's the first Sith who single-handedly overthrew everything. All the other Sith, they had to have an empire. This guy, by himself, just kind of said, I'm about to play all you bitches. He's the personification of the meme, congratulations, you played yourself.
Just, the whole Clone Wars was just this man just playing 4D chess with himself.
What are you doing, son?
Oh, yes. He has seen the Clone Wars. He does like it.
What are you doing, son?
Your favorite Sith Lord is Darth Nihilus, Anthony Schneck. I mean, there's a lot of intimidation there. It's like, hey, one day, kid, you're gonna eat a planet.
He just keeps backing away from me. Bad timing. I forget Highlander's timing is all kinds of whack.
He was using the typical Caledonian tactic of back away, let the Romans wear themselves out, then get him.
He's a Red 23 and that was his tactic? What? I mean, I'm not going to question it. He beat me, but come on. I've seen Highlanders who can just roll right through you, and then he does that. Okay.
Is there a Sith with an axe? I'm fairly certain there has to be at least one.
I know that there's a Sith with a lightsaber. Does that count?
Well, since when have Sith carried lightsabers? Yeah, Darth Praetor's pretty baller.
All right, son, we gonna have a oh, shit.
Oh, hell no.
You captured Zone C.
There you go, pirate. You got him.
All right, Death, thanks for stopping by. Have a good one.
Later, Death.
What would happen if you gave Ruth a lightsaber?
She would become unbelievable.
And she'd also probably get hyper armor on everything. Do you think that the clones having an inhibitor chip that compels them to enact Order 66, regardless of their relationship with the Jedi, is a good or bad plot point?
I don't think it's necessarily bad per se. It's just not the way I was done it.
Well, here's the thing. The way it was originally portrayed in Legends, there was conditioning, but it wasn't a chip. Like there were clones that actually refused to follow the Order 66, and I kind of like that on the idea. And so when I first heard, like, hey, it was a chip that made them do it, I actually didn't like it, because if you remember the original Star Wars Battlefront 2 game, like, on the way to commit Order 66, like, on the way to the Jedi Temple, like, you hear them talking about, like, did we have any traitorous thoughts? Of course we did, but we didn't talk about it.
Right, I think that I wrote a short story, and it's on YouTube. I read it out loud. It didn't get a lot of views. Surprise. But basically, in this short story, I read out the story about this elite commando clone group who, when Order 66 is issued, they can't bring themselves to kill their Jedi partner because she saved their lives, they had a close connection to her, they didn't want to kill her, and so they betray the Order, and most of them, except for one, die. Oh, you want to have an honorable fight? Okay, we can have an honorable fight.
Yeah, but another thing I like on that is, I also somewhat changed my tune to the clone trips. Just like when we saw like how they affected the clones in the Clone Wars, like that one that had it removed and started to realize what was going on, and him desperately trying to warn people of what was going on. That hit home. That really, like,
yeah.
I really thought that was good. And not to mention, you also have the though I still need to get around to watching the rest of it. That new show that came out, the one where like you sort of had the dysfunctional clone squad.
Yeah.
The Bad Batch.
The Bad Batch.
Yeah.
I thought that was decent.
Yeah, like how their genetics sort of like were different, so the chip didn't work quite as planned. And there's a bit of that in there.
Here, hold on. There.
Hey, Raven Lark, did you actually enjoy Jar Jar in the Clone Wars, or was he still annoying in your opinion?
Jar Jar was annoying, but not for the reasons that, the Clone Wars, not for the reason that people, oh, sure. Ow. What's that for? There you go. Oh, shoot.
He actually stopped. He stopped.
Oh, bye, buddy. I don't want to fight you. You go, Kensei. Bye, Kensei.
But I think the thing is, like, Jar Jar in the original, like, Phantom Menace, he honestly didn't, he annoyed me, but he didn't annoy me near as much as he did some people. In the Clone Wars, he annoyed me to the nth degree.
Well, here's the thing. People called him racist. I didn't really see that. I just thought he was just irritating. I thought, is it because he had a Jamaican accent or something? Or his ears were supposed to look like dreadlocks? I didn't see where he was supposed to be racist, but I could admit that he was annoying. He didn't really appeal to me that much. Oh, hey.
I didn't see a race thing. I just saw it more of as, like, this is irritating.
Are we? Oh.
Dang Slaneshi Centurions. But, anyway. Oh, also, today is, according to Anthony Schneck, today is the 77th anniversary of the Battle of Castle Ether.
What? I was supposed to flip his punch. How did I not flip his punch? What? I should have flipped that punch. I timed it right this time, too.
But yeah, this is apparently the 77th anniversary of the Battle of Castle Ether, where the only time in history where German and American forces actually fought together. So, yeah.
Okay.
So thanks for sharing, Anthony.
Cool.
Jar Jar's dad should have been in the prequels instead. I don't know much about Jar Jar's dad.
I don't know anything about Jar Jar's dad. I don't care anything about Jar Jar's
dad. Ron's asking the real questions. How is Jar Jar racist? He's a bloody fish dude.
Well, remember, these are also the same morons who think that orcs are racist.
Well, keep in mind, this was like they were decrying it as racist, even when the movie came out a while back.
Oh shoot! So. Guys, I was being honorable. Being honorable.
The Kensei's honorable. The rest of them not so much. There you go. Now you flip it. Oh, this is Mal says, I don't know, it sounds pretty racist that some people thought tentacles were supposed to represent dreads. Yeah, that's suspicious. Why would you think that? Now asking the real question.
Dang it! The fire got me.
We didn't start the fire. It has always been burning since the world's been turning.
Alright, well, I did try.
Oh, they're having a Christmas celebration. That's nice.
That's nice. It's not even Christmas.
They need to treat everything like it's Christmas.
It's not even Christmas in July.
We could have Christmas in May.
Anyway, how'd I do? 3 kills and 4 deaths. Yeah! That's how you do it as Black Prior. You don't even commit. Anyway, what else are people saying? Are they saying that we're trash, morons? What's the
they're having a good time in that.
Good.
Hey, Raven, can I hear you say, the clankers are coming?
The clankers are coming! Watch those wrist rockets!
I honestly just prefer the original, from the original Star Wars Battlefront 2. Watch those wrist rockets!
Although there is something cathartic about hearing, those some tough armor!
You can say clanker with impunity. What a bunch of clankers, am I right?
The closest thing we'll ever get to a racial slur in Star Wars. Clanker. Oh, he said the C word.
Wait, do you think if you drop clanker around C-3PO, he'd go, oh, my heavens.
Oh! Have all of the fish on. Let's see, who else can I go?
Australia has winter in the summer. Okay, there you go.
That'll work. We'll take that. Alright, I'm gonna go Yorm. I'm gonna go Yorm and Gunder. I haven't gone Yorm in a while. Hey. Excuse me.
Actually, this is clanker is our word. You can say clanka.
Clanker. Why? Do you want me to be Australian? Alright, mates. We're about to go kill us some clankers.
Here, Tobias says, hey, I took your advice about depression. I don't know how much it's helping, but it seems to be doing something, which is what matters. So,
good.
Yeah.
Glad to hear that.
Keep at it, Tobias.
Hold on, guys. I need to get my water.
Okay. Why don't you let you stay here? I'll fill it up.
Okay. I appreciate that.
Gives me that. Why witness, which means gives me that.
Gives me that. Why the screen fuzzy? I tell you what, guys, the internet on my thing has been so wonky. You know, if you haven't noticed, like at the end of each match, like it freezes the screen, and by the time it comes back on, the timer's almost up, so I barely have time to even change orders or anything. It's so irritating. It's been doing that for a while. I want it to stop. I want it to stop already. And also, this will probably be the last Dominion match. After this, we'll go into Breach. Because it is getting past 10 o'clock. It's 10 o'clock now? You can't be serious. Alright, so we're up against the Pet Teddy B045, Nick Mars 11, Toxic Matier, J Junior 615, and on my team we've got Shudo Baggins, Cooley KD, Kick the Dog 1, and Raven Knight 92. Although it says Raven Knight Yeet at the bottom. That's what I say. I know it's YouTube, but Yeet. 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 Prepare for battle. Where you going, bro? Oh. Okay, guys, so I can't see the comments for a minute because Lark has gone to the banyo. Pirates, yar, har, fiddle-dee-dee. Do what you want because it's all right with me. And that pirate's dead, killed by arrow fire. Alright, let's go, let's go. Onward to Zone C. Yeah, boy. I have arrived. Now I'm going to sit down and pout for a minute. Owie! Hammer!
I have returned.
Whoa! Alright, I'm back.
10 o'clock here.
Hold on! Oh, come on, PK. Why did you let that happen? PK, you ought to be ashamed of yourself.
Not. Oh, no.
Oh my gosh, he hunted me down with that! Well, PK, I hope you lose this one. You ruined my hammer slam.
Okay.
You lost Zone C.
Would most of the cast of Star Wars be a little concerned about the amount of times the fans say clanker?
Nah.
Most of the original class, like, that wasn't really a term used all that often. It wasn't until the Clone Wars. I think most of the Clone Wars cast would be, would be ecstatic to hear us say it.
You captured Zone A.
Ooh, Ron, you are in a completely different time zone from us if it's 3 a.m. where you are. Come to think of it, why did Obi-Wan say no to team up with Dooku to overthrow Sidious? It would have ended the war.
You lost.
Well, because
Dooku was trying to send him towards the dark side.
Yep, and the thing is, like, Dooku left the Jedi Council. He left, like, he was probably the greatest Jedi other than Yoda on the Council, and he just straight up left, so. And the fact that he is on, Geonosis, where all the droids are being manufactured, it would be incredibly naive of Obi-Wan to...
How is his revenge still building? The Peacekeeper disengaged.
Must have armor perks.
I don't even know. That's insane. And right now we're getting our butt kicked. And I haven't gotten a kill. Oh, I've gotten one. And that's starting to get crazy. Alright, well I better keep helping him out.
Obi-Wan is Space Jesus? No. I wouldn't say that. He does look the part, though. No, Duncan, I don't know any about that. No, I've never heard of Darth Vader, Hero of Naboo. Have you heard about that?
No.
Nope. Apparently it's a story about how Vader gets sent back in time and stops Palpatine. Okay. Sounds cool.
Yank up, boys. Damn it! I pulled revenge! God!
Revenge is a fickle thing.
God! And we've already lost one of our teammates. Peacekeeper pulled out.
Anakin, if anything, is Space Samson.
Yeah, that actually fits. That actually fits himself. God.
Okay, you did say you would talk about this later. What are your thoughts about the Rings of Power and the future of Lord of the Rings?
Lord of the Rings is going to be ruined by this. Like, it's going to do the same thing that Star Wars is happening with Star Wars right now.
You capture Zone A.
It goes into an overall point that. Hold on. Come on, buddy. Oh shit!
They're multiplying.
God dang it! Coward. You're on PC. Let me check. Hold on. Let me check. You're on PC, aren't you? Let me check. You guy just killed me? You're on PC? Let me check. No, he's PS. Okay, well, then he's just... He's got to be a smurf because he's a Rep 1 and he pulled off a fucking a light deflect that easily?
I'm thinking Smurf.
Probably smurf, but whatever. It's just a sign that I need to stop playing Dominion now because I'm getting my freaking ass kicked. I've only got 1 kill, died 4 times. This is not good. There, got him.
Alright, let's see. Apparently the Church of Utah had a portrait of Obi-Wan mixed up with Jesus. That's awesome. That's hilarious. Santa is a Canadian fugitive for stealing half a ton of the finest maple syrup and bacon. He didn't steal it. It was left out for him. That's why he took it. That's interesting, last Skylander, but I find it hard to believe that Wookiees would raise a Trandoshan considering the history between them.
Probably. Yeah, do that. Go ahead. Hit him, Highlander. Hit him, Highlander. Thank you, Highlander. Took you a minute to figure that one out, big guy, but you did it. I'm proud of you.
He got there. It just takes him a minute.
You lost.
Eric, what are your thoughts on the roly-poly-olies? Droidicas. He means droidicas.
Droidicas. We'll talk more about the Rings of Power show once we get to the breach, where I'm not as distracted. Just remind me.
Alright. Or I think chat will remind me.
Your team rally.
Hey there, Aaron. Whack.
At least I'm putting up a fight. That's all I do.
You captured Zone A.
Ready? Yeah. Who made the clones? The Caminonians.
Camino, yeah.
They remain on Camino. Professional cloners. We all like Darth Revan Leon.
Hold on, I'm coming. Bot Isaac never dies.
But how did they know?
We might just turn this match around.
If nothing else, you gave them a run for their money.
Yeah, we're sticking it to them. Whoa, they're taking aim. No.
That's a big old nope. I like their overhead lights. It's just a nice little bomb sound. Do you remember what the Bartonians and so on? I can't remember what they are.
I don't know. Oh, so that was your plan prior. You wanted to build my revenge so you could steal my shield. You're trash. That was your plan. You are garbage and you should know it. Oh my god.
Anyway, Raven, you think you could make
Yeah, and he even emoted at you, piece of shit.
Do you think you could make an alignment chart for the For Honor characters?
No. Because each For Honor character could be however you want to make it.
I guess you could make it up in the stereotype, though.
That's the thing, there's nothing I can do for Honor at this point in terms of tiers or charts or anything like that. I don't know enough about the mechanics of the game in order to tell you which one's better on an objective level. Everyone who knows about that already has, like Slanderous and Marco Yolo. I can't do it based on lore because there is no way to tell who's better based on lore. Someone asked me to do it based on which one is a cooler concept. That is entirely subjective. And genuinely, even on my subjective opinion, I think all of them are unique concepts, so I don't know. Oh, I'm back in! Yes! Yes! So I can't even say which one is better on a unique concept subjectively, because I think they're all unique concepts. So even that I can't really say. But I will say... Oh, gosh, I'm coming, bro. Hold on.
How did that not connect?
And you're... No! You son of a whore! Yes! Yes! Oh, no, you didn't. Hold on. Damn it! No, I was about to get him! Someone pick me up, damn it! Someone pick me up! No, I was gonna hit him with the Ragnarok! Yes! 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 You better run, son! You cowardly little snake! That's right, you better run. Fine, I'm disengaging. You fuck! Oh my lord! Run like a bitch until you get your opening! Oh wait, I forgot what I was fighting against. A fucking Orochi. I forgot what I was fighting for a minute there. Pick me up, Highlander. Yes! Yes! I was shit that whole match, but at least we beat him. At least we killed him. I hate Orochis. That's why I never play Orochi anymore. I can't stand them. And I know lots of people are saying, oh no, they're okay if you play like... If! That's the thing. If you play a certain way, then they can be viable. But if is the big thing there. So many players that I've seen just do the same strat. Run away. Disengage. I know that the whole thing for a while was Orochi's light parry, not light parry, light spam, until they said, oh, we're taking away his triple lights. But you gave him everything else. You gave him a Storm Rush with light level speed that can be done from any direction and is undodgeable from any direction. Used to be it was only undodgeable from the top, but now they've changed that. So it's literally a guessing game, and if you fail, fuck you. Then it's undodgeable side lights, which can be baited, but, you know, they don't always fall for it. No, don't take me into another match. So that's really irritating. Then backup lights, which can destroy you. The Storm Rush Heavy can be done front or back dodge. And then they have dodge cancellations. It is a combination of non-stop dodges and lights. That's all they are. And they'll run away when things get too tough. It is ass to fight them. And I will not hear any arguments to the contrary. I know there are going to be people out there who say, oh no, dude, if you just do that. I hate that argument. If you just... Here, let me do this. Why don't you run a marathon? It's easy. Just run faster than everyone else. Saying just do this does not make it easier, you know? It's like, win the Olympics. It's easy. Just do better than everyone else. Just is not an explanation. Just is not an excuse. And I've lost most of my viewers. Cool.
Alright. Well, anyway, Lorath wants to clarify. He's not talking about the For Honor characters, he really wants to talk about your For Honor characters and doing an alignment for them.
No, I can't do that either because I don't trust myself to do that, honestly.
If you want, I could read over and I could do it.
Yeah, if you want to do that, yeah.
I think I can do that relatively quickly. Heck, I can do the stereotypes themselves.
I don't trust myself to do that, honestly. That's the only reason.
Alright. I got you covered, homie. Raven, what origin did you take in Star Wars The Old Republic, and what were your thoughts on... we haven't gotten that far, but you can tell how much origin you took, because you've made a few characters.
I've made a Jedi Sage. I've made a Sith Sorcerer. I've made a Bounty Hunter Flamethrower Specialist.
Power Tech.
Power Tech, yeah. I've made a Commando Rifleman. I've made a Jedi Knight. No, I haven't made that yet. I need to make a Jedi Knight. And I've made a Smuggler Dual Pistol User.
Gunslinger.
Yeah, Gunslinger, yeah.
Okay.
Those are what I've made.
Alright, let's see, what else? Okay, Tobias, in regards to that, I would recommend, like, you do need to sort of relax, but find things to sort of preoccupy your time, because if you're just trying to relax and, like, you just focus on relaxation itself, that can be a little difficult. Find things that you enjoy, or at least that you enjoy.
Holy shit, are we really down to 30 viewers?
That'll bounce back.
That sucks.
It's okay, but anyway.
Do you think it was my Orochi rant?
I don't know. I don't know.
I know that quite often my opinions on modern characters and their gameplay is not popular. I'm not saying that Orochi mains out there inherently are bad, just to clarify. I'm saying I hate the way a lot of Orochis play, because I feel it's very hard to counter. But I will admit I'm a shit player, so take that for what it's worth.
Yeah, also, typically when we get to this part of the thing, we do tend to start seeing a dip. And it sometimes bounces back and forth, so we'll see. Alright. Lorath, I believe we've already answered that at some point. Have you ever played Warhammer Inquisitor Martyr?
No. I don't think I have. But anyway, we were going to talk about the Lord of the Rings thing.
Yeah, you were.
Okay, let me go ahead and talk about that. So I don't know everything that they plan to change about the new Lord of the Rings show and what they're planning on shifting. I know a few of the things from some videos that I've seen. So they're going to make Galadriel some kind of warrior princess thing, even though that's not the way she was described in the books. They're going to make a black female beardless dwarf queen or something, which is not the way dwarves are meant to be. They're going to try to make a gay character, I've heard, I don't know how true that is. And they're going to basically, it's just basically girl power. That's basically what it's going to be. It's going to be Lord of the Rings, Power of the Queens. You know, that's what the Queens of Power. That's what it's really
Lord
about.
of the Rings, my name is diversity.
Exactly. And here's the thing. I really cannot say how much that annoys me. I love Lord of the Rings. I think it's fantastic. Now, I'm not a uber fan who's, like, learned how to speak the language of the elves, okay? Like, I'm not that level of nerd yet. But I feel like, if you... What's the best way to say this? It's kind of like what I said about, oh, crap. It's kind of like what I said about, when Disney bought Star Wars. Why did you want to buy the IP of something and make something about it if you didn't respect the IP in the first place? Because a lot of these people, when asked, why did you change all this, their answer is, oh, because the original Lord of the Rings, while good, was a little sexist, or a little racist, or a little too Christian-oriented. You know, they constantly badmouth the original and then say, we'll do it better. Why do you want to take over something that you think was done poorly? Why do you want to fix something that you think was done bad when it clearly has a huge audience despite it being supposedly bad? Look, if you think it's bad, that's one thing, but you can't deny that it has an audience. You can't deny it has a huge following. You can't deny Lord of the Rings is essentially the Bible of fantasy. I don't care what Shadversity says about Wheels of Time or Wheels of whatever. He says that it's on the level of Lord of the Rings. I disagree with that entirely, regardless of my point. Lord of the Rings is something that is a timeless, fantastic fantasy story. And you can't take that away from it. But the fact that they want to take it and twist it into what they want to see, doesn't that tell you their basic agenda? And isn't that what they've done with Pieces Forever now? I do believe that's what happened to Star Wars. I do believe that's what's going to happen to Lord of the Rings. It's these Hollywood executives who don't even understand what we appreciate about the original IP, who think, well, we understand the public better. We understand what the current world needs. We understand the socio-political talking points of the day. So we're going to inject those into this IP that everyone loves, and clearly, because they love the IP, they will love what we have to say in the IP, not recognizing that people will become very upset when you take what they love and bastardize it with what you want to see. It is not about what you want to see. Here's the thing. I do not like Aragon very much. Oh, it's a fine book series. Movie was passable. I don't like it very much. If you like it, great. But if I was asked, okay, Raven, I want you to make a TV series about Aragon, do you know how closely I would try to follow the book? Yes, I might add a few things that I think would help the story overall, but I wouldn't inject what I want to see. I would inject what the author intended. And as long as it's what the author intended, I will feel validated in what I add. Because, like, this is what the author wanted to see. This is what the author believed in. This is the way the author wanted to see it written. It does not matter what I think. It matters what the author cares about. So that's my thoughts on the new Lord of the Rings. As for the black female, there's a video, guys, about To Kill a Mockingbird that I saw, where they don't really talk about the book so much as they do about the racial issues around it and why it's a bad book for teaching about racism. Let's leave out the fact that I don't think the Kill a Mockingbird was meant to teach about racism. I'm going to leave that aside for a minute. The reason I haven't made a response video to that is not because I don't want to. I desperately want to kick this thing under the curb. Like, I'd want to throw that video under the nearest bus and watch it get run over. But the reason I can't do that is because I know the minute I start talking about race, that's the end of my channel. That's just the end of everyone giving me fair response, fair understanding. People are going to say, oh, Raven's a racist. Raven believes this. Raven is a bigot. Regardless of what I say, someone's going to say it. So I'm very nervous about talking about race. I'm very nervous about talking about it. So that's why I'm hesitating right now to talk about my thoughts on a black female dwarf queen without a beard. So if everyone in chat right now can say, Raven, say what you want to say, I will tell you my thoughts on that. But if you don't want me to say it, then say it now. Because I will not ruin my reputation for the sake of a god-awful show like that unless y'all really want to hear what I have to say.
Interesting, along that note, LaBoge pointed out, he says he doesn't think that a dark-skinned dwarf could exist simply because their evolution would not have allowed for it.
Oh, I would bring that up, but again, I'm hesitant to talk about that. I'm hesitant.
But he wanted to point out, like, since they live underground and have such little interaction with light, they would have,
Well, yeah, that's evolution. That's evolutionary traits. But again, people will take that and say, you're racist! There's a fantasy world!
They're saying go for it.
Okay. Why can't people who want to see black characters in their fantasy or fictional worlds go to African culture? African culture has rich, unique folklore, creatures, races, individuals, stories. But no one ever wants to go to African folklore. They want to go to European folklore. They want to go to Lord of the Rings. They want to go to all these other IPs that are strictly European in origin and say, let's add African characters to this. Let's add black characters to this. And then when we say, okay, but that's not the way it's supposed to be, Lord of the Rings is mostly about European ethnicities and European people because it's centered around Nordic and Scandinavian culture or English culture, the response is, it's fantasy! Reach it out what we want! Okay, then by that logic, can't you go to African fantasy? Can't you go to Asian fantasy? Can't you go to any other fantasy outside of what's already been established to do it? And secondly, if that is your big issue, it's fantasy, no one cares, we can add what we want. Okay, sure, then why do you lose your mind over any time races are bent in the ways you don't want? Why are you losing your mind over Doctor Strange's, the ancient one being a white woman instead of an Asian man? Why do you lose your mind over that? Why do you get upset about that? Is it because maybe we should respect what things are and what they're meant to be created as, what their creators wanted them to be? By trying to change the gender and race of a character to fit what you want, even though it doesn't match the lore of the world being established or the intentions of the author, it shows how little you actually care about the world you're inserting them in. Do I think you can add a black character to a fantasy world and make it good? Yes. Do I think you can do it in Lord of the Rings? No. Only because that's not what Lord of the Rings was centered around. If you have a problem with that, I invite you. Create a fantasy story around African culture. You can do it. I'm not saying it's easy. I'm not saying just anyone can do it. It requires a lot of practice. It requires a lot of thought. It requires a lot of creativity. It requires a lot of imagination. But it can be done. And the fact that people say that's racist baffles me. Because what does that say about you and your understanding of your own goddamn culture? When you say, I can't possibly be asked to look into African culture or Asian culture or Hispanic culture and create an original fantasy world or story around that, isn't that a diss of your own culture? Saying that there isn't enough creatively in your own culture to create something fascinating? And before you say, well, Raven, why don't you tell us about it? Why should I have to? Why are you asking me to do that? You're the ones who want to change everything. You tell me. You tell me what you could add. You tell me what you could create. Tell me and we can proofread it together. I can sit down with Hollywood and say, all right, tell me your story idea. Tell me about the culture you're basing it off of. Tell me the story you want to tell. Tell me about the characters. And I will tell you, that's fascinating. Or I may say, what if we also did this? Or I may say, I think we should rethink this. I will give you my honest thoughts. But if you expect me to sit here and listen to someone say, we're going to take this IP, which has a clear influence from a very specific cultural group, and we're going to shit on it by disrespecting the intentions and creativity of its own author, you're high.
I think another big issue with the whole Lord of the Rings race swapping is there was already a race of humans that were dark-skinned in the Silmarillion.
Yeah.
You could have easily just said, well, let's just give this culture a little bit more focus in the show, and that way it blends in more.
Yeah.
It's perfect. That would have been perfectly acceptable.
But like I said, they don't want to look into the cultures of these other people. They want to take what was popular, the hobbits, the dwarves, the elves, and twist them to make them what they want.
It's in my opinion, that's kind of insulting on its own metrics. Because,
Exactly.
Well, because you're basically saying sorry, you aren't cool enough or creative on your own, so we have to take something that was already popular, well known, and twist it.
That's exactly what I was saying. That is precisely what I'm saying. You're basically dissing your own cultural representation, your own cultural identity, by saying it's either this is not interesting enough to create something new, or saying that we are not creative enough to create something new.
Yeah, and also, Lord of the Rings, the whole situation, it irritates me, but what irritates me more is when they do it with people that were actual historical figures.
Right.
I remember in Vikings, they had the new series, there's a black Jarl, a black female Jarl.
Yeah, and she's named after a real Viking Jarl, right?
And I'm just going, why would you do that? I mean, hypothetically. Well, hypothetically, you might get a black Viking if you had some Vikings that raided along the North African coast. They did reach down there, but typically for trading missions. And they managed to either A, fight a African warrior, and they wanted to do the adoption ceremony, or they bought a African slave from the Moors and said, hey, I like you enough, I think I want you to be on my Viking crew. That would be the only way that could possibly work, and even then that's stretching it already. But to say that there was a black Viking queen is kind of ridiculous.
Well, anything in chat before we continue with this conversation? Because maybe we're going too far. Like I said...
Well, a lot of them are saying, yeah, I'd like to see Africans, they want, a Nasi. They want,
yes! The spider dude! Yeah, I would totally love to see a whole movie about that guy. Or a TV show about that guy. That would be cool. That'd be creative. You could come up with a lot of interesting stuff around that, but no one wants to do it. No one wants to dare to say, hey, let's try something creative and new. It's painful. It is really painful. And I love, here's another argument I hear all the time from those same those Neanderthals who say this. They say, well, how can these people, I like how they say these people, how can these people possibly see themselves represented properly? They have been denied the spotlight for so long. We need to make sure that they get represented, because who is this movie made for? It's just all white male characters. Who's this movie made for? It needs to have some representation in it so that we can feel represented, so that we can feel shown. And my response to that is, if you're so weak that you can't relate to characters unless they look like you, either you're pathetic or you have no imagination. I genuinely am baffled by that. I am baffled by the stupidity of that. It is absolutely outrageous. I am not Japanese, but I love several J-dramas that I've seen.
And K-dramas.
And K-dramas. Yeah, I'm not Korean either. But there are some K-dramas that I've seen. Yeah, I know. It's scary, right? I'm not black, but I'll tell you what. I actually kind of liked what I saw in Black Panther. Not all of it, but I liked the main character.
Well, Anasi's a good story. Also, I like Mali history.
Yeah, that's a good one. I love Moana. Moana was a great movie, but I'm not Polynesian.
Ethiopian history is also like the one country that was the holdout, because you could argue Liberia, but that was because we were kind of had our little hand over them.
Yeah.
So, but they held out. They beat back Italy in the 19th century.
I'm not black or a frog, but I love Princess and the Frog, the Disney movie.
Well, we do sing like frogs.
Yes, we do. But we are not black or frogs. And we loved that movie. I thought it was one of the best Disney movies that I'd seen in a while. It's probably the last good Disney animated movie I've seen.
You and I were just talking about this the other day.
It's better than Frozen.
People keep talking like we need more black superheroes, so they take pre-existing superheroes and make a black version of them. When are they gonna make a Static Shock movie?
Yes! Oh my gosh, Static Shock was the shit!
I loved that growing up.
Static Shock was such a goodie. I wanted him in the Teen Titans. And speaking of Teen Titans, Cyborg! Cyborg was a G! Cyborg was like one of the best Titans. I wanted him to be the leader for a while, because he was so cool. Well, why can't we have a Cyborg show or a Static Shock show? Why do we need to have you replace existing characters as female or black when we already have them in media? Oh, what? I'm sorry. I know that we've gone on this for a while, but...
Well, it's also confusing me because Static Shock was popular.
Very popular.
The show did very well.
I forget
He teamed up with Batman. Even when they had Batman, they had some sort of weird Batman Beyond sort of goes into the future sort of thing. They had an adult Static Shock. And I thought, that guy looks awesome.
Yeah, he was genuinely...
I even loved his sidekick. His sidekick was funny to me. Do you remember the Gear guy?
Yeah, Gearbox or Gearhead, what was his name?
I want to say I think it was Gearhead, but I can't quite remember.
It's hard to remember, but genuinely, Static Shock was the shit, I just feel like it's an excuse. It's just, we want to insert the politics we want to see. They want to indoctrinate the masses. They want people to look at this and say, look, we are totally politically relevant. We're virtue signaling in all the right ways. That means you have to love us.
Well, the issue is, at the end of the day, they're adding this diversity and this representation in, not because they actually care about diversity representation or broadening horizons. It's because they're checking ticks off of a box.
Yeah, they don't. If you think that these people honestly care about representation and how black audiences or female audiences will care about a superhero movie, you're only fooling yourself. The only thing these people care about, the genuine only thing these people care about,
is patting themselves on the back, saying, "Look at how great we are. Look how virtuous I am. I added diversity. Won't you people love me now? I am so virtuous."
Yeah,
it's ridiculous.
But anyway, that is my talk there, and I don't like talking about race, not because I'm a guilty white man, but because I know that the minute I bring it up, regardless of what I say, someone's going to argue, oh, you're just the racist white guy who lives in the South.
Well, the thing is, most of our chat, actually I can pretty all of our chat, most of our subscribers, They're pretty much on the level. I think everyone's pretty much getting sick of it. And the
I
thing
don't know.
is, I'm not even sure we have to be worried about being canceled on Twitter anymore, considering where that's going.
Well, it's not even, well, I don't even have Twitter, but it's not
Twitter?
Even, but it's not even that. It's like I lost a subscriber in my recent video, in my recent writing room video. But I think it's because someone didn't like what I had to say about the Legend of Korra, saying that she was a Mary Sue and poorly written. I don't know.
All right. Let's see. Even after speaking facts, no printer. I like that.
That is good. I like that.
What are your thoughts on the Book of Boba Fett? Or the Book of Boba?
I haven't watched any of it, but I heard that they started off with this whole Tuscan rites or something. No, I kind of lost interest when I heard that. Plus, they take off his mask in like the first episode.
Then again, we kind of already know. So I mean, it's not as big as say like with Master Chief or the Mandalorian, where it was like with one, it's like taboo. With the other one, they sort of pre-established it along with the Mandalorian. With Boba Fett, we already know what he's going to look like because we saw the face in episode 2. So that one I'm not quite as upset with. But in order to truly give a are your followers, at least on YouTube, our loyal followers, are we a cult? No, we're not forcing you into any form of religious servitude. Yet.
Yeah.
Make sure you bring your sacrifices next Thursday. We're going to be practicing our thrusting skills with daggers, sacrificial daggers. If they're not consecrated with nightshade, they're not good enough. Yeah, the YouTube algorithm's going to have a ball with this one.
I feel like there will come a day when YouTube does try to get rid of me. That'll be a sad day. Well, for me. For some of y'all, it might be like, oh, thank God.
We're free. We're
We're free of that goddamn Birdman.
No, that's Michael Keaton.
Oh, yeah.
I'd happily worship Law Daddy, but then Law Daddy would call you a heretic. Oh gosh, it's the Emperor thing all over again.
Fear the wrath of the Law Daddy.
We'll eventually get rid of all of us, and then when they have no more revenue because they got rid of everyone, then they're gonna go, we were kind of idiots, weren't we?
Oh, yeah.
Ah, nah, who am I kidding? They don't have any form of self-reflection. I can't sacrifice next week. I got bills to pay, and I gotta go see my psychiatrist this week. Yeah, we might give you an extension, Jaguar, but come on, man. We need you to step it up, there. Overall, my response would consist of a murder-suicide. No. It's a murder-fake suicide. You make people think you killed yourself, but really, you're the one wearing a fake mustache still trying to solve the murder. That is how you get past it.
Thank you, Armusha.
Do you think that storytelling in American culture is done for?
No, it's not done for. It just needs to be brought back.
I think that in the mainstream, it's a content grab. But I think if you look at side projects or other things, you can find a lot of creative gems out there. It's just they aren't mainstream anymore. But no, there's still really creative people out there still creating and crafting excellent work. It's just Hollywood and the like are not going to, they're not going to take the risk. Instead, they're going to try and take already pre-established stuff because they know it will sell, and then they're going to try and inject their own nonsense into it and then act confused as to why we don't like it.
Yeah, it sums it up pretty well, I'd say.
Yep. Raven Lark, if someone leaves because of your opinion, that proves that people are weak.
Oh,
I just do not know how humanity became so sensitive about opinions.
No question, I agree with that. But I'm the kind of guy who likes, I'm a people pleaser. I like people to be pleased with my content, and that I feel like I put my time and energy into something that people, for the most part, like. That's why when my recent Raven's Writing Room didn't do as well as I thought it would, I was kind of disappointed because I was, man, I've spent like 2 days on that, and very few people seem to really get into it. So I felt very disappointed about that. And you're right, not everything's going to appeal to everybody, and people who quit me because of their opinions and not agreeing with mine, yeah, that's weak-willed people, and I don't want anything to do with those people anyway. But at the same time, you can't deny that there's something sad about, oh, well, I'm sorry that we couldn't see eye to eye on this. I'm sorry that you don't like what I had to say, and there it is. But, like, it's kind of like, we've been talking about Star Wars so much tonight, hence the name of the stream. We've been talking about Star Wars, and I know that there are people who do like Star Wars. There are people who really like what the Star Wars sequel series are. And I believe they're objectively wrong that the Star Wars series...
I have a good friend who really enjoys the sequel series. And I legit had to sit down and have like a 2-hour conversation with like, okay, explain to me what you like about it. And every time I just said like, how? Okay. It's like, he's a good friend, but we see things very differently. Hey Raven, when it comes to representation, you can say represent these nuts. Classy Jaguar.
Classy.
Always classy.
Classy. But yes, wow, you know, I think the whole stream has just been one long rant, so no need for a rant tonight, guys.
I think we already have that covered.
We've got that covered now. We've got our rant done. Rant over. Now we're just...
Yeah, Ray was badly written. No doubt about that.
Oh, horrible. Terribly written character. Terribly written. Die. What you get now?
Reddit, why are you sending me notifications? I don't even use you. Yeah, Lawbringer's still cool.
Of course he is.
He's saying, like Bane was saying, I haven't played in a while. Is Lawbringer still good?
Yeah, Lawbringer's cool. No question.
Yep. Let's see. When Raven rants, the world shakes. Interesting. Ray versus Korra. Whoever wins, we lose. Honestly, seeing the people that try and defend both characters would be interesting to see them go after each other.
Oh, yeah. The funny thing about writing about Mary's two characters, or Gary's two characters, is the argument that comes in. But this character is so powerful and so good. She has to be, or he has to be, because, you know, they're just amazing. They could totally beat this character, you know, they could totally do this. Oh, so they're overpowered. No, they're not overpowered. They're actually really weak. There's a lot of, you know, issues within them that they have to deal with, and, you know, personal problems, and so they're not overpowered. They're just weak babies. No, they're really strong, and like, you can't win. That's a conversation I had with someone about Superman, and they tried to argue that Superman was one of the most mild characters in the DC universe. They couldn't beat everybody. In fact, they're mid-tier in the overall DC canon. And I'm like, what?
In a recent comic, he literally punched like one of the creators of the multiverse and knocked it out. So
yeah, so I tried to argue. I mean, okay, so what you're saying is that he isn't awesome. He actually is pretty basic. No, he's actually amazing, and as strong as he needs to be to win his battles, then he's overpowered. No, because he's not that strong. You can't win.
What? Raven, did you read the crossover between Supernatural and Twilight where the wedding has crashed? Whoa, do you mean like Sam and Dean Winchester go out and start shooting the zombies, the vampires from Twilight? If so, I'm curious.
That sounds fascinating.
If you can swap out the Winchesters with Blade, you got something there.
At least I worked the community.
Skylander says, I think Finn should have been the main character instead of Rey. We saw him before her. He has a far more interesting backstory and was shown with a lightsaber in the promos.
That was a red herring. You know, it was supposed to try to say, like, hey, look, a black Jedi. It's what you've always wanted to see since Mace Windu. Oh, yay, black representation as a Jedi!
When I'll need more Mace Windu. Samuel Jackson, we still got him. He needs to go back and do more Mace Windu stuff. But the thing is, I agree. I think Finn would have made more sense. I was honestly hoping that we would kind of get two Jedi, because in the OG trilogy, we only kind of had like one to truly work with. I mean, Yoda sure was around, but we really didn't see him do much.
Yeah.
Other than train. So it would kind of been cool, like, if Luke said, like, all right, I'm taking you both under my wing, come here. And we could have seen like two sort of like interpretations of the Jedi Code and all that. But no, we couldn't have that.
Luke can't actually teach us things we need to. I love how people say, he did teach her. No, he didn't!
He basically just said, like, hey, I'm going to show you why the Force, like, I'm going to show you about the Force, or because I want you to not become a Jedi. And then it's like, oh, guess what? You already know everything. Yoda literally comes out and says, she already has, she already has everything she needs. Don't worry about it.
He tells her what she needs to learn from Luke. He literally says, failure, the perfect teacher is. I'm like, oh, so she has to learn.
But she's never failed.
I'm like, so she has to learn from Luke's failures. Because that's what it was all about. Anakin, irrelevant. Luke, a failure. It is Rey who will carry the torch and win. I think that's what pissed off so many people. It wasn't the bad acting. It wasn't the weird effects. It wasn't the plot holes. It wasn't any of that. The real thing that the follow-up sequel series did that pissed off so many fans was they made everything that came before, even the prequels, even the OT, all of it, entirely irrelevant. Guys, think about it. Your favorite Star Wars story before Rey, irrelevant. Has no meaning. No purpose. Everything that happened in the prequel series, irrelevant. Clone Wars, irrelevant. Bad Batch, irrelevant. The Rebels series that was kind of here and there, irrelevant. The OT, irrelevant.
Please say the Gonka droid isn't irrelevant.
Entirely irrelevant.
No, not the Gonka droid.
Yes, the Gonka droid. All of it. All of it, 100% irrelevant. None of it matters. None of it matters because everything about the series was leading up to Rey Palpatine defeating her grandfather, Emperor Palpatine, who Anakin and Luke did not defeat, by the way. They didn't beat him. They didn't win. They didn't win through the power of father and son love. They didn't win through redemption or good character writing. No. She won because I am all the Jedi. Yeah, so she literally became the avatar of the Jedi. Like, screw you. It was abysmal writing, abysmal character structure, but we have to accept it because she did what Anakin and Luke couldn't do. She did what they couldn't. Anakin was meant to be the chosen one, meant to destroy the Sith. He didn't. She did. Luke was meant to be the one to restart the Jedi Order and build a new order and build a new Jedi temple and start over and protect the galaxy. He couldn't do it. Rey will. Their legacies are buried in the sands of the very planet they sought to escape from. Their memories are nothing but something for Rey to hold on to. She even stole their name, stole their legacy for herself to say, it's not about you. It's not about what you offer to the world. It's not about the memories you created for the audience. You're just a side story for my story. And that's what pissed people off. Star Wars, as I said, is about Luke Skywalker. The prequel series told us how Darth Vader came to be and how Luke Skywalker was born. The original trilogy told us Luke Skywalker's stories and Darth Vader's redemption. And the sequel series said all of it didn't matter. This new character, with no connection to Luke, with no connection to Anakin, she's the one that matters. She's the one who gets the win. She's the one who earns the immediate respect of Han Solo. She's the one who immediately can talk to Chewbacca despite only having first met a Wookiee. She's the one who made Luke Skywalker realize he was wrong. She's the one who got a hug from Leia after literally just meeting her. She's the one. She's the one that really matters. And I think the reason they did it was because J.J. Abrams is not an idiot. He knows that what a lot of people want is they want us to feel along for the ride in Star Wars. He wanted in the first movie to recreate the feeling of a Star Wars movie, but with us at the helm. That's why Rey is such a blank slate, so that we can take the ride. It's a self-insert story for the watcher. That's why we got sucked into it. Yeah, we're flying the Millennium Falcon. Yeah, we're meeting Han Solo. Yeah, we're getting to do a cool lightsaber fight. Yeah, we're doing Force tricks. But instead of writing a character, they wrote a blank slate. And then when asked to write a character, they said, no, we're not. We're not going to write a character. We're going to write a superhero. We're going to write a her-o.
No, we're going to write a paragon.
Right, a literal definition of a paragon, a messiah character.
Without any of the nuance or any of the understanding or creativity that would actually go into creating one.
It's abysmal. It was all abysmal. The first, and I know what you said, bro. The first movie, The Force Awakens, could have been good had they handled the rest of the series properly. I disagree with that. I don't even think the first one is good.
Well, the thing is, looking back now, I agree with you. It was bad. Like, we were so naive.
Yeah.
We were just like, we thought, like, yeah, it has problems. We were willing to, like, just turn aside the problems because we were happy to have Star Wars on the big screen again. Mm-hmm. And then The Last Jedi was so bad, it woke us up, and we looked back and realized the nightmare that had already started.
Well, I mean, it's...
And also, here's another thing. This is another theory I've heard. Apparently, not only was Rey a Mary Sue, she was apparently supposed to be Kathleen Kennedy's OC.
Screw you, Kennedy. Screw you, Kathleen Kennedy. What do you know about Star Wars, Kennedy? What do you even care about Star Wars? I'll bet you think Han Solo is the pew-pew guy who shoots the lasers and flies the Falcon, and Luke is just the swish-swish zap-zap guy with the lightsaber. That's all you know. And Darth Vader is the... guy. That's all they are to you. You don't understand or respect this IP. J.J. Abrams didn't understand or respect this IP. Obviously, Rian Johnson didn't understand or respect this IP. They took what was wonderful, not perfect. I won't say Star Wars was perfect, but they took what was wonderful and said, no, this is our story now. When Kathleen Kennedy said, we want to respect what you created, she was lying through her venomous teeth. Okay? She was lying through her teeth. She didn't want to respect the George Lucas's creation. She wanted to piss on it. Why? Because she wanted to tell her story. J.J. Abrams wanted to tell his story. Rian Johnson wanted to tell his story. They wanted to tell their stories. Not Star Wars. Not what the fans required. You know what would have been an honestly, really adult thing for them to say? We're not going to make new movies. We're going to make shows, shorts, little behind-the-scenes interviews. Why? Because we don't think we can touch what the original was. We don't think we can outdo what George Lucas created, what the fans have loved for so long. So instead, we're going to do little side stories. We're going to leave Luke's stuff over here, start another story. Maybe before the days of the Galactic Empire, maybe in the Legends era, or maybe beyond, like way in the future. But no, they had to tie it into Luke and shit on his legacy. Shit on it. And I think that's what infuriates me so much. I love Luke Skywalker. I think that he's one of the greatest ideas of Western heroes, one of the greatest Western main characters that we've had in a very, very long time. He's infinitely superior to some that I've seen, like Harry Potter. He's infinitely better to some, like, I can't even think of any off the top of my head. I like him so much because there's something about Luke, you know? There's something about Luke Skywalker that you can't question. The guy is a symbol of hope.
Well, the thing is, when you think of the Chosen One archetype,
right.
Or the stereotypically, or like he's kind of like the founder of the stereotype. Like,
I wouldn't even call him a chosen one per se.
Well, he is to a degree, but the thing is, it's interesting how he works because when you think of the plucky farm boy rising up to the occasion and becoming a hero, he's that guy.
Right. Yeah.
He's sort of the standard
for sure.
Like Star Wars was to sci-fi what Lord of the Rings was to fantasy for a while.
Absolutely, you can't. There's no question of that. I've often said that. I've said before that I don't really care for Star Trek, but Star Wars was always something that I would love. And here's the interesting thing. I don't think Luke Skywalker was necessarily the chosen one archetype. He's the hero archetype, but not the chosen one, because there's no prophecy about Luke. There's no build up to, oh, he's the chosen one. Like Anakin turned out to be the chosen one. And I think that kind of ruined Anakin as a character, because chosen one archetypes often end up as self-fulfilling prophecies. And the chosen one... Actually, I'll say this about Anakin that I like. I'll say this about Anakin. Despite being the chosen one, he kind of takes a turn you wouldn't expect. He becomes his own worst enemy, you know? He becomes the monster he swore to destroy.
It is kind of interesting, because like he does fulfill the prophecy, but in such a weird, like in such a crazy way. Because typically most chosen one stories, it goes into, oh, hey... The Chosen One goes through the trials and he winds up victorious.
Right.
But in this, he actually does more damage than arguably than he does good.
He failed his trials,
He
really.
failed, and then he come back and came through for redemption, and crap, it's back.
What's back?
The bots, I thought I got rid of them.
Well, that's because we're running late into the thing, and my trolls are looking for ways to insert themselves. I'm sure that's what's going on. Anyway, we've been at this for a while. We probably need to start wrapping up. Are there any last-minute questions y'all want to ask before we go? Because we're down to less than half of what we had before. So.
All right. Well, we actually bumped back up to 40 while we were going through the breach.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
Oh. Any last-minute questions or comments or concerns before we close out for the night?
Some do have a concern that about the Kenobi movie. They're afraid that they'll take it in the wrong direction.
I've heard bad things.
I've heard good things. I've heard bad things. I'm optimistic, but I'm also trying to be realistic.
Yeah, I just don't trust it. I want to believe it could be good, but I don't trust it.
Well, the thing is, they have Ewan McGregor, they have Hayden Christensen, and Hayden Christensen apparently, he was binge-watching Clone Wars to get ready for it, and I'm like, that's a good start.
That's a good start. He wants
to...
to...
Because this might be our chance to, actually have Hayden Christensen, without Lucas's writing and directing come in. That,
I don't think Hayden Christensen's a bad actor.
I know, that's the thing. We might actually be, able to see, Anakin how, we've always really wanted him to be seen. And I'll check out the Resident Evil movies another time with those. I really don't know too much about it.
We're not here to do that. Sorry.
All right, but we'll and Levi, I'll check out Wedding Crashers a little bit later.
Why are they asking? How does any of that have anything to do with anything?
No, Levi mentioned it earlier, and we brought it up. It was the. Yeah. Okay, and
I don't really care for
Yeah, and I agree regularly. I don't think it's trolls. I think they're just bots that are just annoying as sin.
But well, I don't know. It happens.
Well, the thing is, these guys are saying they see the same stuff on other people's streams.
Maybe I don't know.
Yeah, but anyway. You have had this question a couple times, do you know anything about Wendigos?
Yes, I do.
And there was a previous question, what's the difference between a Wendigo and a Skinwalker?
Wendigo is a Native American mythological creature. Basically, it's a person who wandered and became so hungry and starved that they ended up eating human flesh, eating a human, becoming cannibalistic, and that darkness and evil deed corrupted them and turned them into a monster, an undead wraith of sorts that fed on humans, was capable of imitating human speech, lived in the cold, was even in some cases capable of controlling the weather. Wendigos were basically these carnivorous beasts, like the Native American evil Yeti. Whereas a skinwalker is a person with the capability of changing into an animal.
Yep.
There you go. That's the difference.
All right. Thoughts on science fantasy? That's Star Wars.
That's Star Wars.
Yep. Is the rework for Shinobi good or fun?
It's fun. It's fun. I still think it's strong, but it's not as bad as it was. I think that Shinobi is actually something I can combat now a little bit. It's Pirate right now who's still way too OP. Yep. A Pirate needs a rework. Pirate needs a nerf to some degree. I fix something, take away the dodge cancellations, make it so that take away the easy to do soft feint into guard break, all that kind of stuff. If you fix some of that, I think she'll be a lot better, but right as she is, way too strong.
Alright, let's see. Geist, just be careful with the Zweihander. Don't hurt anyone too much, even if they deserve it.
Yeah, if they're talking about that kind of stuff, unless there's something good.
When's the next For Honor Legends coming out?
I'm working on it. Hopefully this weekend or next week.
Right.
I'm working on Bao Shin. Should be done soon, but it's just slow going.
Oh, and here's an interesting question. Speaking of heresy, when does the heresy burn meme go too far, or is that not true at all? Instead of chaos, the Imperium players are corrupting the setting. What do you think about that?
What are you talking about?
I think they're saying the burn heretic. We all enjoy that. Means and he's asking, is there ever a point where it goes too far?
It's kind of like when you tell a joke over and over and over again too often. It kind of loses its flavor. There are times where I have to go, "Hey man, joke's not funny anymore." Kind of lost interest.
Yeah. I kind of have to agree. It kind of goes to a point where it's fun to do it every now and again, and even for a good a brief period of time. But if the only thing people know about Warhammer 40K or For Honor is just Deus Volt or Burn Heretic, they might be turned off to it. But once they understand what it is, they can have a better appreciation for the joke and the humor alongside of it. So, just in moderation, as all things. Oh. Raven, can you review the first episode of The Rings of Power like you did with Halo?
If it's available on YouTube for me to get access to, because the reason I reviewed that episode and I haven't reviewed any other episodes is because I don't have immediate access to it. Actually, I think they took down the first episode of Halo from YouTube because I can't re-find it.
Yeah, I think people were like, this is garbage.
Yeah, they were getting such hate for it that they had to take it down. But because they released it on YouTube thinking, hey guys, check out the first episode free on YouTube. I said, all right, I'm taking it and I'm going to review it. If they release the first episode of The Rings of Power on YouTube, I might just take it and say, all right, let's watch it. And we're going to talk about it. But be aware, I'm not as familiar with Lord of the Rings extended lore as I am with Halo. So don't expect me to go like, okay, according to the Silmarillion, page 13.
Yeah, you've read the Lord of the Rings and the Hobbit. You haven't gone through the whole Silmarillion.
I need to find time to do that. But
that's like several college courses, man.
Yeah, that's a college course that needs to go through that. But
we've already answered that, Lorath, where it's like meh, whatever. You could have. The question is, like, do you think you could have a werewolf or creature in Star Wars? Like, you could have, like, an alien race. It's kind of
you could have a race like that.
But I think there's... Particularly if it's from the unknown region.
That's the thing about Star Wars, you know? It's like...
Sky's the limit.
Literally. You can do whatever you want. There's so much creative options there.
Could there be a Predator crossover event in For Honor? I think that might be hard.
I've been asked that before, no.
They should teach Lord of the Rings in school. I would only say no to that on the fact because I think that would turn kids off from it.
Yeah, genuinely. Because kids tend not to like everything they're being forced to read.
Not to mention the sheer length of the novels. Like the only one you could get away with would be The Hobbit.
Yeah, that's the only one you could kind of get away with, and even then, kids are going to complain, it's too hard to read.
Yeah. Well, you could do it for like an AP or honors class.
Maybe.
AP has a very strict reading list. Elites have their own slurs that are officially endorsed by Bungie. Split lip. The Halo version of Clanker.
Ha.
Oh yeah, we know about the Cathar. In fact, his smuggler is a Cathar.
Yes, my smuggler in the game is a Cathar. Yes, this is true.
I make a lot of cat jokes whenever we're playing.
Yes, you do. It's hilarious. Tell you what, let's ask a question while we're still in chat right now. Next week, because we won't be able to do it tomorrow because you've got your thing, unless
maybe if we get enough time.
If we get enough time, and that would mean they have to leave. Well, last time they left at like 9:30.
We'll see, because this will be the last session of the campaign.
All right, well, we'll see. And if not, what I can do is I can stream by myself. But then again, I'll be interrupting you on them.
Yeah.
Okay, tell you what. Maybe tomorrow. Maybe. That is a freaking high maybe. We will do Star Wars The Old Republic, and I will play one of my characters. And I'll release a poll tonight before I go to bed. Which character run you want me to do? And I'll do it. I'll play through it where I've left off. I will either, and I may even have Lark along unless you want to moderate.
I can do both. Because the thing is, the way the combat works in that game, particularly if we're going through like some of your stories, I can keep an eye on chat while the dialogue's rolling.
Fair enough. But if that's something you'd like to see either tomorrow or next week, let us know in chat. You need to tell us. Because I'm not going to waste time doing it. Here's the thing. I don't want to do something for that long when I could spend the evening working on other things, you know?
Yep.
So let me know in chat right now.
Laboge is for it.
Round 1 is not the same as many.
Mal's for it. Geist is for it. Mal's voting twice. I'm not sure you can do that, Mal.
I don't think that's how that works.
Jaguar's like, do it tomorrow. Like,
I can't guarantee tomorrow.
Dang it, we will try. Yeah, they want it.
Looks like everyone wants it. All right, then we will try.
I'm seeing no naysayers. Ooh, even if like Butt Kingsley joined and saying he would enjoy the idea, and he hasn't commented a dang thing all chat.
All right, well then in that case, let's plan to do it either tomorrow or next Thursday. We will do it. That
That's
means
okay, Adora.
that means no For Honor stream next week if we do it next week.
Well, we'll see if we can do it tonight. We might be able to get it in. Or you can teach me how to do the streaming thing, and I'll show them what I've built, and then everyone can leave.
Well, Lark, I keep telling you, sit down with me and I'll teach you how to do it.
But that makes sense. You know I don't like that sort of thing.
Very true. You don't like making sense. Okay, anyway, I think that's a good place to call it unless there's any questions left.
All right. Last question.
Last question?
All right.
Last question.
There's two. One I might have to cover. Polygon versus Leg Atlantis. My answer to that was that's a video for another occasion. And reaction stream when?
Well, it won't be next week.
That's for sure.
Because here's the thing. Either I'm going to do the Star Wars thing tonight if I do the Star Wars thing tomorrow night, then next week I'm probably going to do another For Honor thing. Because I want to get as much as I can while we have the Assassin's Creed event going on. Maybe when the Assassin's Creed event is over, I will do a reaction stream. But y'all got to realize, I only have one night to stream. Actually, wait, hold on. Not so. Lark, you said that tomorrow is your last D&D session for this campaign.
Yep.
But you're going to be going to a friend's house to do like a sort of in-between thing.
Yes.
Okay, so what I can do now is that means I would have Friday nights free. Because I'm not going to be involved in that.
Well, yeah, there's that, and, I mean, also the next campaign, we're going to be a larger group, so we're going to be doing it at another person's house.
Okay, so that actually opens up more time. Unless I get involved in that campaign, which I doubt I will. Cause...
I mean, you're welcome to join in if you want, but that's up to you.
We'll see. Tell you what, if you go to it and you like it... Yeah, we'll talk about this later. Let's finish up the stream. Okay, guys, thank you guys so much for watching this very weird and crazy stream where we played a medieval game about medieval warriors and talked Star Wars, a science fiction story. I hope you enjoyed. I hope that it wasn't too cringe for y'all to listen to. We had a pretty decent following for a little while there. Couple things I want to say. In honor of it was not just May the 4th yesterday. This is also the start of Mermay. As a result of it being Mermay, expect 3 response videos that I'm going to be making to 2 articles in a video wherein the writers and creator try to tell us why the Disney movie The Little Mermaid is worse than we think it is. Believe me, I read these to Lark. Lark and I watched them together, and even you were like, oh my gosh.
It's funny how bad they are.
It's actually hilarious how bad these articles are. So in honor of Mermay, I will be ripping apart 3 videos about The Little Mermaid that tell us why it's horrible. It's that bad. So expect that. Expect the first one to come out probably tomorrow. I will be recording it tonight, editing tomorrow. It will probably come out tomorrow.
I love Jaguar's response, just, oh no, and followed immediately by Guy's rocket, oh hell yeah! The duality of man laid out perfectly.
Oh my gosh, this is going to be fun. This is going to be... Anyway.
I don't know, it seems a little fishy to me.
But I can't wait to stand up for my girl Ariel. Anyway, so expect that, and also as far as the Legend series goes, Bao Shin is next. Hopefully that'll come out next week. I hope y'all enjoy that. And I'll talk about this more in my update video on Monday. I want to talk to you guys about the future of the Ravens writing room. I know a few of y'all told me in Discord that you'd like me to keep it going, but genuinely, if it's not a project that's going to get a lot of support, I want to dedicate more time to For Honor, Dead by Daylight, and lore videos so that I know what to do. I've got a lot of projects, guys. I've got a lot of things on my plate. I want to make sure that the things I make are things y'all will watch that will make me profit so that I can keep doing this. Because, guys, even though I can't live off of YouTube, the money helps. Just this month, this coming the 21st, I'm going to get my next paycheck from YouTube. It will cover my rent, okay? It will cover my rent.
And I don't have to break his kneecaps if he pays.
Yeah, that will help me out tremendously. So I want to make videos that y'all will see in bulk, that y'all will enjoy, that y'all will find pleasure in, that y'all will continue to watch with the ads for, because that helps me out so much. So if y'all aren't watching the videos, there's no point in me making them and wasting time on them, you know? Because I only have limited time. I work every day of the week except for Thursday and Friday. Those are the only 2 days I have off. So please, guys, help your brother out. let me know about that, and we'll talk about that more in the next update video. All right. And final thing, Lark we are both working on the Hyuga Lark Lamentation video. We're watching through a lot of Naruto to really get this down. Expect that to come out maybe later this month, next month.
Yeah, probably. Yeah, we could get it done before May.
Okay. It is May.
I mean, I get it before May ends.
Oh yeah, that. Anyway,
before September ends, you can.
Dumb mother. Anyway, thank you guys so much for watching. This has been a pleasure as always. I'm Raven and he's Lark. Thank you guys so much for watching the stream, and I will see you in my next video. Take care.
Have a good one, guys.